So Paul Wall stole $100 for you. No. You know what? Hold on to the story, because this is going to be a great way to start the freaking pod off.
I monopolized the pad.
Yeah, no, you take the pad. The pad's fine. Yep. All right, welcome to Hive Scum. This is the grim and gritty podcast for the 28 community. We're back, episode number 4. My name's Terry. It's stone.jaw on Instagram.
I'm Phil. My phone number is 860-977-1548.
Send him a message.
My name's Paul. I'm at WeirdStoned on Instagram.
What's up? It's Steve at South of Heaven on Instagram. And I'm Gage at No Clear Coat.
Damn, now we did it. And as you probably, there's 5 voices you just heard. We have a special guest today. The wonderful Mordheim Paulie is in the building.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Listen, the guy we wanted, we've talked about him probably in every single episode. We've talked about how great of a guy you are. True. There's no pressure. We talked about how you're the greatest of all time. We talked about how you have the best radio voice and how you know everything about Mordheim. So the pressure is fully
definitely
on.
The most handsome of them.
Friend of the pod, Paul. And and so we were just about to hear a wonderful story about how Paul Wall ripped Gage off for $100. Was that it?
Wait, no. Paul Wall, as in who? Can you clarify?
Paul Wall, the white rapper.
Yeah, the Houston-based rap art and grill artist.
Yes, well, that's where it started.
Yes,
he definitely has a cooler nickname than white rapper.
The people's champ.
Yeah, but the people's champ. He's also got
champ.
something else. The mouth of the South.
Mouth of the South. People's champ.
Else.
Paul Wall. People. Not the Paul that we have in the building. Just to be
Next
clear,
episode.
We don't have Paul Wall here. We've got Mordheim Paul. But so Paul Wall ripped you off of money.
In high school, I bought a grill from Paul Wall.
It
was supposed to be my bottom.
Blackstone?
My bottom.
Oh.
He sent the mold from his shop.
Well, this is
I molded
real.
my teeth, sent it back, and I never got the grill.
This makes so much sense for a high school BMX kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let me see your what? Nice. Let me see your grills.
He never sent
you
it.
never got anything.
I never saw anything.
He just sent you a Weber, dude. Yeah, so you never met him.
I never met him.
He didn't put the mold in.
It was exclusively through like an Angel Fire style website. From
I'm sure
that definitely was Paul Wall.
Yeah,
no, it was grillsbypaulwall.com. It was through
still a website, you think?
It was still. I gotta check right now. It was through his MySpace.
Both of you grabbed your phones real quick. We're gonna order grills on this episode,
Dude.
Dude, we got to get some sick Weird Stone grills, like green gems.
Yeah.
That for the event. Do you think Paul Wall would sponsor
this? Nemo is officially sponsored by Paul Wall Grills.
I think it's coming down
Weird
to the
Stone
wire.
edition?
I don't know if we'd get the grills in time.
Yeah, he
Next
probably
year,
has to
perhaps.
custom make it. But if you can make 3 for the first, second, and third, or like a little gift card for 1 free grill.
This website does not exist, by the way.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Dirtbike Rob, his wife has the Mood Studio in Middletown.
Okay.
I was at this grimdark, actually it was not the grimdark flea market, it was the punk rock flea market down in New Haven, and she was doing tooth gems on site.
Tooth gems?
Yeah.
You got one?
I didn't get one. I had to pass, and I had the kids with me, but you don't really freak
Kids
them out.
It's got to be temporary, right?
Tooth gems
I
are
don't know.
very
They last a long
zoomer.
time.
Yeah.
Right now.
Are they?
Tooth gems.
Haley has one.
She's got a tooth gem?
So like I
Tooth
said,
gem.
You just look like
Very
Courage the
zoomer.
Cowardly
When?
Dog.
I'll reach out to her.
What?
Like, when did she get it?
I don't know, like a couple months ago.
Is it still there? She still
Yeah,
has
it's
it?
still there.
Like, you had to think about
Yeah,
that.
I did have the. It's in a spot like not super noticed.
it's
Okay,
usually the
okay.
thing, right? People put it on the fang.
She did it, I think.
What?
One behind that, and then she got it, and she's like, "Why the
Tooth
fuck did I
gems.
do that? I
Yeah.
got it in a place you can't even see it."
Oh, dude, I should do it.
That's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
It is just
Put on
like
my ugly teeth.
all your ugly
You don't
teeth.
have
just-
ugly teeth.
They're
Now,
pretty yellow.
How long do these tooth gems last?
Like 8 months, I think.
8 months having just a gem on your fucking tooth.
This
I feel
has
like
got
I
to
would
be like
scrape my gum. I'd get canker
Yeah.
sores from
Yeah.
it.
Corn
Like,
on the cob getting stuck in that fucking tooth, dude. Just hanging shit off that. No,
gotta take it
thank
off
you.
with a chisel.
Braces all over.
Taking
I was
it
gonna
off.
say it's a real braces fetish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's definitely some. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how do you think Paul Wall feels about tooth gems? Do you think he's pro
Probably
tooth
why he
gems?
took his site down.
Oh yeah.
Because tooth gems is just
Yeah.
monopolizing it. Oh yeah.
Do you need that in front of you?
No, dude. As
just
long as
chatting.
you can lift it up if there's anything that's important.
Is there tooth gems on there?
Oh,
Yes.
no, I was just making notes about these are some people I wanted to mention.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about tooth gems.
Besides tooth gems, What have you been working on?
Oh yeah, we should do that. Well, dude, honestly, I don't know. I don't want to put it on Paul to start first, but we've been
Let's
working.
go round robin.
Do you want to start with me again? I think it was Gage.
Gage's turn.
It's Gage's
And
turn.
we'll hit Paul last.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do that.
What have I been working on? I've been a little burnt actually on painting my Cities of Sigmar. The latest vibe for me is tabletop.
Just playing.
Just playing games. I've got like 8 Kickstarters came in the last month. I finally got my
Yeah.
Blade Runner book.
Well, how's the foil on that?
Fucking perfect.
Really?
Yeah, I was very stoked.
All right. Okay. Because you were
An
ready.
update for everyone. I've officially hit 84 Kickstarters that I've backed.
Oh Jesus Christ!
This is the first one that I missed the pledge manager on, so all of that bitching is 100% my fault.
Pledge
How many
manager,
times have
what's
you
that
been
mean?
burned on that? On all
Never.
those Kickstarters?
Never.
Really?
Don't talk to
I would
Steve
say,
about getting burned.
yeah, Steve's definitely been burned, but I've only been quote unquote burned once because I didn't read it. It was a
Yeah, you don't know how to read though.
no, I don't know how to read. You had to go to Drive-Thru RPG to get your book printed, and so they sent me a
cool.
PDF that I had to then get printed
Well, I guess that's
after the fact. But so I've been just crushing different RPGs. Blade Runner one looks very sick. I would love for us to play it.
totally.
You name the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
today.
down. It's the same system as the Alien RPG.
Oh, I wanted to play that too. That looks pretty cool.
There's tweaks to make it individual.
Yeah.
But you all play as Blade Runners. You're all
So sick.
Nice, dude.
Phil and I
just
actually
watched
had.
Blade Runner the other day. the
You
OG.
should. You should be a monthly catch
A monthly watcher
A
of
monthly
Blade
watcher.
Runner.
Absolutely.
Just every month watching. it? What are
Absolutely.
you talking about?
You need to be able to quote that movie. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
I don't know. Can't rain all the time. Is that?
Yep, that's exactly what he says.
That's the Blade Runner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The red pill or the blue pill.
Yep.
I know Blade Runner, dude.
Dude,
Don't even get me started on Blade Runner. I know
We're
all
just
about
talking
it.
all my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Phil and I rocked a
Hack
one
the
shot the other day.
planet. Sorry, I'm just
Daywalkers.
quoting Blade Runner.
Just all these Blade Runner quotes.
Hack the planet. Yeah, we know all about Blade Runner.
No, but we played Cyborg the other day.
It
I
was
want to play
awesome.
that really bad.
Very, very fun RPG.
I did not get to go.
Wow, cool.
You were doing like firefighter. You were
You're
saving
saving
the
lives.
world.
I would rather be playing Cyborg.
Well, I'll make sure you call in sick.
If I knew, I would have called out sick. I've been
Calling out
literally-
sick on your 2-day week job.
I've literally like
Who's going to save those orphans from the flaming
Anyone
buildings?
else.
Steve?
straight up.
I've been like last year. I didn't take a single sick day because you get like a paycheck at the end of the year just for all your sick time. And
Oh, fucking A.
I got the paycheck and I was like, I really wish this was more money. I should have just taken days off when
Yeah.
I felt like not going in. And now this year, any excuse I will call out.
Dude, time
Nice.
is money, friend.
That
But you gotta have
I do
people
that
at
shit
the
even without
firehouse.
paid time.
well, yeah,
Making money is for fucking losers. I tell you that.
100%.
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
a loser if you have a job.
I hate making money. Oh, what were we? Dude, sorry, we sidetracked. So you've been
No.
working on playing a lot of games.
Just ripping. I've got a couple RPG ideas I've been typing up. I'm just trying to get as many one shots out lately. And then actually, I just got the painting itch again like 2 days ago. Painted up that owl bear, and then
oh, dude, nice.
it's looking great.
the Kron spine and my secret allies for Cities of Sigmar all got primed.
Is it a secret?
Cities.
It's a secret. Phil knows it because he was there while I got the box.
I think I
but-
know what it is anyway, but that's fine.
I mean, I've been leaking it all over the place,
I know.
but
Yeah, you've been leaking a lot.
I've been leaking.
Yeah, we've been busy leaking, doing a lot of leaking here. So that's it.
That's it.
All right, I'm
That's it,
stealing
man.
the show.
No, please do.
Finishing up airplanes with Aeronautic Imperialis. I've been bashing together BFGs. We talked about those. Battlefleet Gothic minis. I've been painting up Kev Adams Goblins. It feels like all the same shit I've been talking about last time. I don't really know.
A lot of similar colors.
No,
over there.
dude, your BFGs. I mean, you
Well,
just had
there's
one
new
done
ones.
last time.
Yeah, I know.
Aeronautica
Oh,
looks
and then I
great.
started the board. We'll talk about more of the boards later, but I've been putting together with Sarah while we watch Friday Night Lights. Great TV show.
Dude.
If you guys do.
Yes, yes, great show. The coach
Great show.
rocks.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. He's the best.
Paraplegic guy.
Yeah, very
He
sad,
becomes
but
like
I love him.
a
Dude,
house
no
salesman.
spoilers. No spoilers! Oh my god, I think you just spoiled something big for me. I'm on season 2, dude, like halfway through it. But so we've been watching that, and we've been putting little foam, flagstone looking things down on
How's she digging it?
the Friday Night Lights.
No,
or-
I don't give a shit about that.
She
The
loves
board.
Friday Night Lights.
The board.
I think she likes the board. She's a big puzzler, a big jigsaw puzzler. So it's like
Perfect.
kind of the same vibe. You're always trying to fit certain pieces. This doesn't fit here. The only good, it's custom. You cut it off.
Yeah.
If it's like I got to fit a little piece in there, that's easy. You
should
don't have to look for a
Dude,
puzzle
puzzles
piece.
would be way cooler if you could use scissors.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, puzzles would be way better if you could use scissors. Be a lot easier. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been working on, and I've been painting some terrain that you had dropped off a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah, see over those.
Yeah, I mean that's like sort of a test thing. Yeah, I've just been doing really sloppy paint jobs with the craft paint, like really sloppy, like not even trying.
No, well,
and then
it lends itself.
This is perfect. It's
and
gonna
then,
blend
yeah.
so perfectly into.
that's what I figured. I was like, there's a lot of terrain to paint. If I paint it really messy with craft paints and then just go over with like an oil wash, or I'm gonna make the Black Magic Craft acrylic wash like in bulk with flow improver, brown and black ink, and just like water, I think in matte medium, mixing it together and just like throw it all over that terrain and it'll be good.
Shout out Black Magic Craft.
I mean, yeah, dude, straight up. Honestly,
he is the best.
He is really good and tons of good videos.
The colors are so perfect. It's all so muted. It's all toned together very
Totally.
well.
What did you prime this with?
With, dude, I'm sorry, but somebody's phone is buzzing right now, and I haven't heard that sound since like, when like the phone interferes with the electronics. Yeah, and it's happening. And the other day I thought about that.
Headphones.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
hearing
I
it through
feel
the
like I
headphones.
just heard it.
But I have only heard that sound like so long
The
ago.
Nokia, like
I thought it was gone, and I definitely just heard like a little bit of
dude,
interference.
it's
Crazy.
the 5G. It's the Bill Gates
Yes.
virus.
Yeah.
What did you prime this with?
Just black, and then like a zenithal of just brown.
Just a quick color, or like what kind of?
Just like Rust-Oleum 2 times black primer. I
The
think
2 times.
It's a good.
it's
stuff.
good. I like it because it dries super freaking quick. I'm sure Quick Color does too, but it dries super quick. It's like you blast over it, covers the whole thing. I mean, it really is.
It comes with a great nozzle too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A nice spray pattern.
I do be
Quick Color's
clogging
good,
that
but-
nozzle a lot.
So the price point is,
Yeah.
Rust-Oleum's only like $6. Quick Color's $2,
I know.
depending where you buy it.
I know, and I wish it did last a little bit longer. I like priming all of that terrain. I'm like, fuck, I went through like a whole bottle or whatever. It was not.
Yeah, me and Gage ran into that the other day.
It sucks when you run out and you're like, fuck. If you don't have a second one,
Paul
on
got
deck,
the sick, big wide nozzle for it.
Oh hell yeah!
Just ripping the
Fat
full
caps, dude.
extended mag on the.
With the handle too. You know?
Oh.
And so we were like spray paint gods, dude. Just like, you know.
I was
Hell yeah.
actually just thinking about what we're gonna do when
Paul,
we
you
come
might have to move closer to the mic.
when we're
Sorry,
painting
here.
terrain. I think I might break out the Awada so we can airbrush.
Oh, yeah,
with
very
all our
cool.
base colors.
Yeah, I got the Harbor Freight one that's like siphon fed from the bottom.
Hell
Because
yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep filling up this little like 2 milliliter cup
Yeah.
over and
Little
over, no
thimble.
way, or knock it over. You
And
know,
plus,
so-
it's car
yeah.
guy shit
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah,
Top
exactly.
loader
Yeah,
sucks.
so you can have that for painting up. Do you
When I
paint
do the
your own
roof on
cars, Paul?
I did in high school. Me and my dad painted a pickup truck that I had.
Nice.
But not in a long time. Mostly just rattle cans and stuff like that. You know.
How would you go about touching up paint? Because I scratched my truck the other day. Like it chipped a little piece of paint off.
So when it chips off, you gotta like kind of blend. You gotta blend out where it's chipped, and get back down to. Like,
It's
the
like
primer.
the tiniest chip. Like
Okay, then you could probably just get away like scuffing the area and then
A
spraying just
marker.
that little spot.
Yeah.
And then you
A
just
magic
would, like
marker.
wet sand it back down.
Crayola
all the paint
marker.
is
that's so
level again.
terrifying. I don't even
You
think
just
I could do that.
slap a sticker on it. Who gives a shit?
It's
Yes.
on my door. Like
Well, they make
door
touch-up pens
stuff.
now that actually on the back of the pen has like a little scuff pad, so you can like sit there and like,
Yeah.
and it's like it comes to a really fine point, so you can actually like scuff
shit.
it down, and then you just put a couple passes with the
The
like,
dealership will
touch-up
sell
pen.
it too.
Yeah.
So to match
Yeah,
your
so
color.
it'll be a dead,
Really?
exact match.
I was
yeah.
thinking about getting a door guard, like the little black trim piece that goes over it, because that would cover it too. But I don't know if
That
that's
would look
stupid.
terrible,
That's ugly, dude.
Yeah.
I love those WeatherTech fucking things.
WeatherTech
a lot of
rocks,
haters out
but-
here, but I like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
little strips.
Protect your door, you know? Some idiot parks too
Oh,
close to you.
those little strips you mean? I
Yeah,
got
it
the
sits
Windows
on the
ones.
edge of your door, like where
No,
your door would
yeah,
hit
yeah.
another car.
Even
I mean,
uglier.
yeah.
Then I can just smash it
Even
into people's
uglier.
cars.
Yeah,
Park
that stuff
too
really
close.
sends a message about who you are. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't fucking park next to me.
Don't walk on my lawn. Don't park next to me.
Phil, what you been painting up, buddy?
I haven't been doing shit the last couple weeks. Working again. You know, I'm always very unproductive. You know, when I'm employed. So the last 2 weeks I've mostly been printing shirts that are just like a fake 9-line like troop thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But gotta pay the bills. Last night I started blocking out color on a couple like Ungors and stuff.
Nice.
What were you building? You sent a picture.
I was building a Manticore.
That's with the tusk thing that you had?
Yep.
That shit rocked. That was cool as hell.
Classic.
Aren't Manticores supposed to have lion heads?
Yeah, it's like a vaguely lionish head.
It's like
Lion
old
adjacent.
fantasy lion head.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if there was
He's
like
got a
a
little stinger,
Warhammer
wing.
specific one, or if they like.
No, well, I mean I'm using it as a chimera because I have an aversion to multi-headed monsters.
Why, it freak you out? It's just
I'm
not
so
realistic.
scared of having more than one
scared.
head.
Cerberus is really freaking you out.
All the heads turn and kiss each other at the same time.
Yeah,
It's
kissing
weird.
heads. That's kind of cool though.
Yeah. But
Damn,
no,
dude.
pretty much my only productive output is been screen printing,
Now,
which I hate, but it's my only marketable skill, and gotta pay the bills.
on a chimera, are they separate? I mean, because they're the same creature, right? Okay, so they all have these 3 heads or whatever. I don't know, however many heads. Freaking Hydra. Are they like separate from each other?
Yeah,
Do
they're
they
all
like care
sentient
for one
beings.
another?
Yeah.
Do they care for one another?
Well, you know
It's
what I
like a
mean.
little cuddle puddle at the night when they all coil up
Yeah.
together.
Do they like say like I hope everything's going okay to like their neighbor?
Like
Hey, you
7
okay,
and
buddy?
1 talk
Yeah, it's
the
all right.
least.
Or are they all sad at once?
No, they definitely have their own vibe.
I feel like those creatures exist for like 10 minutes ever.
What do you mean?
They just die immediately.
Yeah, like someone's got to go
I like
fucking
that,
slay it. And like,
Conjoined twins.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like David Cronenberg, like The Fly, like it's like kill.
Oh,
me.
no,
Like,
no,
I was
no.
born with 3 heads.
Yeah.
Put me out of my misery, kind of thing.
what's that ugly ass model everyone loves? The Age of Sigmar
I'm
one.
sure there's a couple.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple.
The 3 heads are Archeon.
Oh,
Archeon.
is
Yeah, I
actually
don't.
sick.
I don't like
I don't
that
know.
one.
That is-
Having multiple heads on it ruins it.
Also,
for me.
what the fuck's the green head?
Well, the
An
thing
orc?
is,
It's a
it should
Nurgle.
be.
It's a Nurgle. The 3 heads are supposed to be heads of the 3 different greater demons.
It doesn't represent it very well. Also, there should
Oh
be
yeah,
4.
no shit, it does. Well, in the lore, I want to say there was
actually.
something with
Yeah,
Slanesh.
Slanesh got locked
has like
away.
a different
It's
a
stupid.
different role in the narrative.
Stupid.
Yeah.
That model sucks.
Wow.
It should have 4 heads. And they
If
should
it had
be
a
cool.
different head, I think it would be cool. Obviously a cool
You could
kit
probably-
bash opportunity.
True.
I mean, there's plenty of big, scary monsters you could put just 1 head on it.
Well,
Yeah.
Archeon fans weigh in. Tell us why we're wrong. Right? It's Archeon 3 heads?
He doesn't
His
have
his
3.
mount.
It's his mount.
He's riding like a big
Oh.
thing that has
Well, who
3
cares?
heads.
The scale of the model is
I
very
know.
sick.
yeah,
Yes.
everything about it is cool because just the heads suck.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I always talk shit. It's the green head that is the worst.
Yeah.
You just cut that one out. Who cares?
Use it for something else.
This dude,
Yeah.
Bill, you know Bill. You guys both know Bill. Old
Yeah,
Bill.
if we told an origin story
Wild
today,
Bill.
Wild Bill would be
Wild
my
Bill would be
origin story, which is kind of crazy. But anyways.
Yeah.
He had a collection of Games Day Archeon mounted horse models. He had like 10 of them, like all the old metal ones from like.
Collection. Is there more than one sculpt?
No, he
Or
just,
he
had
just
the
had
same
several
one.
of.
He
I
went
don't
to-
know if I would call it a collection.
I mean, he went to Games Day and he just like took a pile of them and
Yeah.
took them home. But
Very
I was
Wild
very
Bill.
jealous of that for a long time.
He went in guns blazing, cowboy hat on, and stole all the Archeon models.
Yep, shit kicker boots and all.
Oh, dude. Wild Bill.
Throwback,
man.
classic man.
So now for this, what we painted, are we going you next, Steve, and then Paul
you,
last?
yeah. What
Okay,
have you
it's
been
sort of
doing?
a zigzag pattern we got
painted it?
going on.
I haven't painted anything. I have.
You've
I
been
got
playing a lot though, right? With your
Yeah, you have.
Oh yeah,
your apprentice.
Brian. Well, I've got all those
Apprentice?
BattleTech
What is
models.
He,
I bought a
the
bomb.
firefighter. He
Oh, Jacob.
Yeah,
At
he-
work. Yeah, I forgot about
he
that.
apprenticed him into the hobby.
I don't
Amazing.
even remember how Jacob like. I think I was just painting models one day. He was like very interested in what I was doing. He's like, "What is this?" And I told him. He's like, "Oh, I've seen this. Like, it seems cool." And then
Bought 5,000 points of Stormcast. the
I think
next
he has
day.
more than that.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Dude, I gotta play him.
And yeah, now he's on. Well, before the new book even was announced, he was like, "I love the Gloomspite Gits and the Squigs." Like,
Oh, I mean, they are cool.
I love those.
It's
And he
hard not
bought
to
a
like
bunch of
them.
it. And now he's like trying to buy a giant. He's like, "Dude, I saw the Giants kit," and I was like, "Yo, I'll split it with you." He's like, "Guess I'm gonna get a giant."
I love that. I mean, but the Gargant's a giant, right? Is that am I
Yes.
thinking of the right thing?
He
so
wants
they
to
can
get
use
the
that in
2 for
every
box,
army.
so with the man, is it the Man Crusher? Man Crusher giant.
That Man Crusher's the smaller one.
That's
the
what
one
he
that
wants.
You have,
yeah, he wants to get a kit, and I was like, oh, I'll split that with you.
Yeah.
But
Crusher Man.
We've been playing, me and him. It's been very sick. He's getting much more. He's getting a lot more involved in the game. Like he's reading his books. He like knows what he's doing now. He loves playing at work.
He can read
with our really bad terrain on a ping pong table.
Oh, that's awesome though.
Real
oh,
kitchen
that's
table
that
vibe.
picture that you sent the other day. I was like, what is this crazy
garbage on the table?
Yeah.
over here.
Besides that, I picked up the BattleTech like 5-pack of models from Barnes and Noble.
We talked about that last.
Yeah,
time.
no,
really
but
good.
I got more involved because Evan at It's What Evan, friend of the pod, sent me a care package with an absolute ton of BattleTech models.
Phil, you're doing the best as far as distance from the mic. I got to say, dude, you sound beautiful.
You
Give
sound
it 15 minutes. I'll be walking around the room.
I know.
But yeah, I got he sent me 12 BattleTech models, some old those Nightmare minis.
Oh yeah,
He sent me some of those.
Shit.
They're
really
very sick. Yeah.
Which ones did he send you? Chaos Dwarves or whatever?
There's a dwarf in there. I don't know what any of them are. They're just very
Dude, the Nightmare
cool.
shit is the best.
It's perfect realm of chaos stuff.
Paul, you're a Nightmare minis guy, aren't you? No. Okay.
I've never even
You would
heard
love
of
you would
Nightmare
love
Minis.
them.
It's
They're
just
very,
old
very,
Hammer, very old Hammer stuff, but super cool. The goblins, the orcs and goblins that they have are amazing.
I don't know what they cost, so thank you, Evan, very much for sending me that. I will hook you up at Adepticon. But they are very cool, and I'm very excited to put them together because me and Evan have been talking for a couple months now about next Adepticon. We're going to play a game of Old Hammer, old Hammer
cool.
fantasy, chaos versus chaos.
Yeah.
Because he's also building a chaos old school pewter army.
These models are
You already have
crazy.
one?
They're so
Right?
dope.
I'm building it.
They're
I'm
building
collecting
it.
the models.
They're a
and
little bit
getting it.
pricey though, but they're very sick.
Yeah, they're very.
It'd be so cool to have buy some for a sick leader or whatever, dude. It's insane.
Looking,
It's so
at,
cool.
looking at Lothar right now.
Love that.
very cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys on
What is
on
that
Instagram
from?
that paint some
Nightmare
really cool
miniatures.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
Very
real
classic.
Yeah, I might place an order before this
I know.
episode's done.
I know.
Nice.
Besides that, working on one of my boards. Working on
Yeah.
boards.
Boards.
I'm not answering that.
Yeah.
Yeah, boards. Working on my canal board. It's starting to look way cooler now that I'm
Dude.
putting the foam on.
Oh, are the canal boards the? Did you show me those ones too, or are those separate from the ones, Paul, that you had showed me a picture of before?
I don't know.
You have the 8 at your house, right? Is that?
Yeah, I've got 8 laid out in the floor in the garage, and then I've got 4 more that are standing up around the outside. But I didn't do any.
my God,
yeah,
dude.
I didn't do any canals yet. I did print off though a whole bunch of docks and all pieces for that kind of stuff. So that's a lot
cool.
of the hard work out of the way, taken up by the printer.
Well, let's transition right to that.
Yeah,
So What
totally.
have you been working on?
Okay, so yeah, my time mostly has been taken up with getting the boards prepared to be flocked. So I started out originally just tiling out every little cobblestone on the streets like MS Terrain does.
Yeah.
But then I swapped from that when I saw how long it was taking me, and I switched to the texture roller and then using a curb to or just using the cork tiles as curbs to try and give a little bit of variation there, and that was really a big payoff for the amount of effort it took.
Totally.
And then getting all those just prepped to be painted and everything like that, and all the guys came over last weekend. And,
The guys being us.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Phil, Gage, and Steve, and then my buddy Painter, who's been mentioned before. I believe.
Oh,
on
good.
here.
Painter,
Yeah,
Painter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Painter.
Our boy
Actually,
Good.
he's been such a huge help with this event. He put together all 30 of the Pendraken Red Vectors ruined
Holy
NDF
shit,
buildings
really?
that we
Those
got.
look so
yeah,
cool.
Supporters
Awesome.
of Nemo, Pendraken.
Yep, big supporter.
Shout
So
out,
cool.
friends of the pod.
And yeah, it was amazing. Ryan, he put them all together for us, and then he came over and hung out with us while we were doing everything, right? And so Gage is in the garage, just flocking all these boards with this cocoa stuff, the coconut fibers, right? And I had done it the night before, and I was I said to him in the morning, dude, I'm fucked up from this thing. It was I was down on my hands and knees, chipping it away and breathing it all in,
Oh,
right? And so then,
Jesus.
I mean, same thing to him. He did it for 5.5
Yeah,
hours.
it was
you
rough.
know? It was unbelievable. And so, but we did get it all down and we primed it, and that really looks awesome. And then now I've been going back, like this whole week was spent like just resealing everything and getting it to actually stick down, because we got like the bottom layer stuck like beautifully, but then the top was kind of still, you know what I mean, they're
Flaking off.
Yeah, flaking off and everything like that. So I gave everything like a nice quick scrub, and then I realized that we have to like completely saturate the material on the boards. That was like a big like level up moment, you know.
Well, I saw in the Devs and Dice video where he pre-saturates all of it prior to even putting it on.
And I think that's the way to go in the future, is to almost make a paste of PVA, like maybe a little. If you're gonna paint over the top of it, you can even put in like a little bit of like spackle or something like that, like joint compound, you know, just to really thicken it. And then you lay it down like a paste on the boards instead of doing like the sprinkle method, depending on like what the final look you're going for is. You know, if you want grass, you got to sprinkle that. You know, most likely.
If you want mulch in a destroyed city,
right?
That's
and like the dirt and like, you know, dirt and rubble style, then you can get away with just like laying out a paste, you know, thinly over the board. So been doing a lot of that. And I mean, that's pretty much going to be what I'm up to for the next month, you know, that and priming and painting buildings.
So where did the idea for the coconut fiber come from? So for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, it's literally like it's substrate for like pet reptile like tanks.
Right.
So what was that, like from a video, or is that
No, the
is it
first
just, like,
place
the
I
most
heard about that,
cost-effective-
the first place I heard about that was from Big John Hick on
Retromunda.
On
okay.
Instagram,
Oh, nice.
Retromunda. And so he sent me like all these videos of like what he did, you know, and he was like, you know, make sure you seal it over the top, because it all turned to complete mold after I was done.
Oh, shit.
Just a Mod Podge, yeah. So then what he did was he put it down and then he washed it, because it comes down and it's this really like bright kind of like reddish brown, and he washed it down from there.
You gotta
it's like
wash
we're
it.
painting over the top of it all, you know, so we'll choose our colors, but he actually ended up with a really cool color. But yeah, I found out about it from him.
His board is awesome.
he had a really
it's
cool
like
board.
he keeps it on his little what is that? A freaking
Coffee table?
like a little coffee table with the whole
Yeah,
setup.
yeah. Pretty cool.
In
Just
his
drop it in
living
the
room?
city.
I don't know if he keeps it in the living room, but it looks like
Yeah,
it
it
comes
looks like it
out
is.
of it.
Yeah.
Like he keeps it stored in the coffee table.
It must not have
Oh,
kids.
dope.
Yeah, like the thing like
Or cats.
thing moves like
Yeah, right.
the table opens up.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
He brought it to Mordheim 22, Bill's event,
Yeah.
and it was there. You can see photos of it on I think
Yeah, it'll be
at
on
Retromunda,
Retromunda.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff is great too, because like it's already a texture enough that you want it to lay it down. Like you could just break the brick apart and throw it on there, or you can really grind it down like your coffee grinder method,
Oh, yeah.
and it'll just
it's perfect.
the texture you want. There's like 6 different textures you can get out of it.
It's
Maybe I'll
cool
do
because
that.
it already has like multiple textures in it. Some like more like soil, some more like fibery.
We were mixing stuff too with the
Gravel or
yeah. I was just grabbing whatever Paul had in his garage. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
this is going in here. Why not?
Yeah, it had, like the oil soaked like speedy dry on the side.
Oh,
you know,
hell yeah.
it
Little
had
cat
the
litter, who
sand.
cares?
Speedy
Throw it
Dry
in.
rocked.
No,
That
yeah.
looked really good.
So how many boards do all of you guys have between you that you've been
I know.
working on?
I'm also curious about this.
So you have 12 standing 3x3 or 4x4 boards.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I think 11 of them, 10 or 11 are 3x3s, and then I got like the other 2 are 4x4s that are broken down into 2 foot by 2 foot tiles.
I have one 4x4 split into 2x2s, which was your board that we got to kind of just paint it and put it all together.
Yep.
I have a bunch of 2x2 or 3x3. I have a lot of 2x2 tiles that were left at the house by the old homeowner, and then I'm working on that 3x3 canal board that I'm like spending so much time on.
Yeah, it's
it's
coming out
almost
sick.
not worth it. Like
No,
down to
I
the
like
time
it.
crunch, you know.
Yeah.
I like that one.
But-
But yeah, I hear you.
I have the foam to make like probably another 2 boards if I make them nice and simple with just coconut fiber.
Yep.
Which I'll get to probably this week.
I'll have 2 3x3s flat. Just,
Oh, really?
Yeah, just kind of what we were doing at your house.
Yep.
Just,
Oh,
just
that's
enough
good
for
to know.
scatter. But
one.
yeah, but I'm not putting anywhere as much effort as you're putting.
Well, I
in.
don't know.
Any
The
amount
flat
of
one.
boards is so helpful though
I know.
because like we're trying to not use game mats at all,
Yeah.
and I think only because we have some people bringing boards from the community, and I think only one of them is bringing a game mat. So
Sick. That's
everyone
awesome.
else has boards.
How many would you estimate you have total that will, like, with people bringing them?
Well, you have 12. I have
Jesus.
at least 3 that I'm going to have ready, if
Yeah.
not more. Another 2
So-
from you,
and
so
then I'll
that's-
have one.
Yeah. So what is that? 3.
That's basic math right there.
That's
like
like
18.
That's
four,
like a lot.
five, Yeah,
That's
18.
like a
18
few.
boards
It's like an inch.
between us, and then
Friends,
believe I counted
listeners
another
can add it
7.
up. Send us the
Enough for
about.
36 gamers.
Yeah.
No, and then we have another 7 from people bringing them
Okay.
from the
Yeah.
community.
So you need
Yeah,
25
that's
or
50.
so.
That is 50.
No, we need 32
32 boards total.
total because there's 64
So
players.
some people are going to be playing on mats.
64? Dude, every time we bring this up in the podcast, I'm like, it's always just like, oh, we're at 50. And I'm like, Steve, you have to stop.
You know what was
You
crazy?
can't let
The
more
board is
people
closed.
in.
You can't sign up.
All right,
One
good.
person dropped, and a guy asked if he could take his spot. He's like, "I'm from like Florida, and I might fly up." And I was like, "All right, well, you can have this."
His
guy's ticket, I
post
guess."
too. He's like, "Why is this only one day, guys?" And I'm like, "Dude,
yeah.
if you knew how much work is going into this, you know why it's one
If
day."
it was
Right.
split into 2 days, I think it would have made everything easier. But
Yeah.
we physically could not get the
Yeah.
hall for 2 days. I think if we went to like Most Excellent and asked to use their warehouse,
I think you would also. I honestly think you'd have less people if it was 2 days.
The other thing
Yeah,
too is
yeah,
that
true.
I don't,
They would
I don't
have
think
to-
anyone here has run an event of this scale anyway. So
I mean, yeah,
you
this
know,
is gonna be
baby
huge.
baby steps.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Under the Dice Day was
I,
like,
I was gonna say this is all gonna feed into Under the Dice
Yeah.
Charity Chiller 3.
we'll see. I mean, I would like because
Perpetual
I'm not trying to
motion,
get
baby.
off the topic too
No,
much
no,
of
no,
how
man.
many boards we have because the answer is like 20 something
All right,
boards.
so we only need about
10, maybe 10 boards.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, you can whip
But
that up.
we're working something out to get some game mats
Yeah,
and terrain
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So
We'll make it work.
I think we got plenty of
Do
terrain.
you think it's gonna be? We have to shift gears to scatter terrain.
Oh,
More than
I mean,
I would say in some ways, yes, but also we're going to be able to build the risers too. So once you throw those down on a mat and you get that kind of elevation changes, that just adds to makes the game. I think you know what I mean.
you could do
Yeah.
a board just coconut fiber and risers on it, and it would look awesome. Or even
Yeah.
just
Really?
the foam.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
just
that-
sculpt the mold mound and
Yeah, the green stuff roller. Do a whole freaking 3x3 with that, and then put risers on it, and it would be a board.
Exactly, yeah, and then like some of the mats are like so detailed too. It's
Yeah.
almost like you can't tell in the pictures online when I see them on the Facebook group. Like holy shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also the Turhan from Broheim, he just posted this morning or yesterday on the Facebook group for Mordheim. They had like I think 13, 14 guys over at somebody's house, and they just rolled, and they had all the tables out in the huge like open area, and they just rolled out mats on them, and they had all this terrain laid out, and it was like every board can't really be like an MS Terrain Labs like
Yeah,
masterpiece
I know.
diorama level,
Yeah.
and it's like that's kind of like the hardest part of like getting ready is divorcing yourself from that
Yeah.
like mindset, it's like because he showed you how to do everything. Like these guys are so generous with like their technique that they just show you how to do it. So they're like, I know I can make it, But it's like you got to kind of.
But those boards still look good. If you just like the Devs and Dice corners, you do a bunch of those with walkways and then
Exactly.
risers, and it looks awesome. Like
Yeah.
walkways to the different risers to the different buildings. Like it all looks good and cohesive when you add scatter terrain.
That's kind of where I was going with mentioning Turhan's post because it's like so they did an Araby themed campaign, which is like the Far East and it's like Arabian Middle East
Yeah.
kind of vibe, and so they had just like all these buildings and like risers and like different things, and it's like wow, you can really get. It's all about how you play it, I think.
So what you're saying is everybody listening to this podcast should be able to go and just make their own 3x3 board.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
It's
definitely.
not-
Anyone
it's
can
really-
do this.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all
Bring your
you
own
can do.
boards.
I actually wrote down.
Just in general, like I don't know, I'm building this little this just flagstone, and I'm like in my head, I'm like, dude, this is going to be a foundation for an entire like thing I'm going to build. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the start of a whole little world, and I'm tying in my like necromancer that I'm using for AOS. Like this is going to be like part of the village in which he was like born and grew up in, and I'm going to build little things for like
Meton's a little
yeah, it's gonna
homebody.
be like Meton, which I love that like Meton, the most pathetic, and he dies every time. Like he's become my main character of what I would like to
Meton's
make.
life of
Well,
shit.
listen, characters like that more compelling than the all-powerful.
Totally. So that like just making this board and like putting down the little tiny flagstone foam pieces, I'm like thinking in my head like, oh shit, what else do I want to make? Like what kind of vibe do I want to make this whole town? And it's been such a rewarding experience, like making the most simple board that I think everybody should just go and make their
Absolutely.
own board.
I wrote down a bunch of accounts that like where I learned a bunch of things.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I definitely want to mention those.
Yeah, awesome.
So the very first thing I did was I saw a video and I actually paid for it. Prominus 4 is the guy's name. I'm pretty sure it's 4, but it's like Prominus IV, like Roman numerals.
Yeah.
On Instagram, and he had like a thing on Vimeo. It was like a 15-part thing where he makes a little Mordheim board and he shows you every step of the way the materials he uses. I mean, he's a European, so a couple of the names for the things are different, but it's everything that you can get, and
Yeah.
he pretty much shows you everything. him, and then the master, in my opinion, is MS Terrain Labs. I can't remember his real name.
Genius.
But
He's
this
so
guy, like, his techniques are incredible, and the end result, like, can't be argued with. And like when he paints it at the end, he really like just sprays everything black. Then he zenithals it a little bit, and then just pretty much goes in with a dry brush. And he uses pigment powders for his accents and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's getting, he's always evolving too, like, which is really interesting to see, because now he's doing like the LEDs wired into the boards for like glowing stuff.
He has all the switches that you can press
Yeah, and
to
the
turn
switches
them
are
on and
built
stuff.
into the board, like you push down on a sidewalk tile, with like a fish head
Oh
on
my
it, and, and
God,
it comes
dude.
alive, and the board starts to come alive. But he also has like the subterranean element. And I mean, when I saw the 3D model that he made for the board he was planning, I was like, "Whoa, there's more to this dude than meets the eye." You know what I mean? He's like,
He just
really
put
special.
that on YouTube, right? Like a week ago.
Oh,
I think.
really?
Yeah, he's been he started uploading last year, and
No shit.
Yeah.
and he's not like, he's very generous too. Like, he's not like shy about showing you exactly how he does it. And in 28 Mag, that the second issue of 28 Mag, he had a breakdown of how he just made one simple tile. And right there, it was like another big like level up moment for me, because this dude broke it down step by step, great pictures, nice write up, and it's just so easy. And then he takes like some of the really cool designs he makes. Like if he makes a sick wall, then he'll go and he'll cast it in silicone so he can remake it in plaster later on.
brilliant.
And it's like, so if you like just take your time and plan, and you're not like under the crunch,
Yeah.
then you can really like set yourself up for success down the line and
Yeah.
more and more advanced builds. And then Eric's Hobby Workshop
Totally.
was like, when he made the video about the little buildings, that's
Dude,
what got me going.
We talked about that in depth when I first
Yeah.
met you. The row houses that
Yeah.
he makes,
Like,
that's
wasn't
what
that
got
amazing?
me hooked. I made my own set of those row houses, and I was like, this guy, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then Black Magic Craft that you mentioned before,
Yeah,
like
totally.
so what he was big for me because he like broke down like, okay, all the Euros are talking about this, but this is what the material is called if you live in America, and this is
Yeah.
what you need to
Yeah.
buy exactly. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, he just saved me so much time like Googling, because you see all this stuff on Instagram and you're like trying to figure it out, and he spelled it all out just like super easily. And then the last guy I want to give a shout out to is the Devs and Dice on YouTube. He put out these templates that have just been saving me a ton of time. So in addition to the 3D printed stuff that we did, which will be more durable down the line,
Yeah.
we're able to knock out these foam core buildings in like minutes thanks to
That's
the
awesome.
templates
His
he made
videos.
us in Illustrator.
His videos
yeah.
are the best too.
Yeah, and
That's
he's a really
awesome.
funny guy, nice guy.
Yeah.
So
Good
now,
jokes.
so now all you
Oh, yeah.
all you scummies have no excuse but to go and build your own board just in your basement. You know what I mean? Just
Anyone can
leave
do
it
this.
somewhere.
Hobby, you can buy
Yeah.
all the materials at any Home Depot, Lowe's, I think you can even get 2x2 tiles at like a hobby store like Michael's or Hobby
Yeah,
Lobby.
they're called project boards.
Yeah,
And
you
you
hear
just-
that, scumbags? Get working, get cracking.
Yep.
Well, the best part about it too is like, and it concreted itself when I was at your house. If you fuck up,
Yeah.
Mordheim is like a post-apocalyptic fantasy.
yeah.
You can't get dirtier than that
Yeah.
setting.
Right.
So like, if, oh shit, I chipped this corner of a building. It's like, okay,
Yeah, cool.
who cares?
Break the whole
Throw
fucking
Yeah.
some
thing.
dirt on it, call
Yeah,
it a day.
smash it with a hammer and do it again. Who cares?
Yeah.
Now it's scatter terrain.
Yeah, throw some dirt at it and you're good. Cram some dirt everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it all over the place.
Oh, speaking of that,
Oh,
is
no.
it dirt from the floor or dirt from the ground and
I
trash
don't
from the
remember
bin?
saying this.
From the floor.
Because I'm pretty sure Phil's the one that coined it.
Oh, okay.
And I like dirt from the floor, but there's been some people saying dirt from the ground, and I don't
I
know.
think that they're misinterpreting
I
what
don't
Phil
know.
said.
Yeah, we gotta.
Also, Hive Scum dirt is now for sale on
Yes.
Cartel bag dirt
From each of our households.
Buy a bag of dirt.
yeah,
Hey, I'll put some dirt in a bag.
$8 a
See
bag.
who's more popular.
Oh, that
I'll
would be
set
really
up
cool.
the big cartel will be set up when this article
Just
is
selling
released.
dirt.
Dude, that's very sick.
It's like how I heard that, speaking of Black Magic Craft, that the wash recipe is actually, and this is just an internet comment and said this, but Secret Weapon washes, which I think is out of business now, but Secret Weapon washes are just that recipe of ink, flow improver, water, and matte medium.
Yep.
But it's just like funny that it's like that guy found that recipe online because it was another guy's recipe, like less something. It was another guy's recipe, and just Secret Weapon just took that recipe and mixed up a bunch of washes
Threw a
and
sticker
started
on
a
it, good to
whole
go.
business. Yeah, so this is our dirt business. I mean, Geek Gaming Scenics is pretty much just that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's just dirt and glue.
Yeah.
Right. I like how he's like super honest about it too. He's like,
Yeah.
look, I do it all the time. He's like, I might as well sell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And it is cool that he's like in his videos. He's like, I mean, you could just use whatever, but like I have this. If you need dirt, that has the right size rocks.
Now you can get it. Hive Scum, Hive Scum bag dirt. We're selling it $8 a bag. Get in contact. It'll be on the Big Cartel.
That's very cool. Yeah, and so going back to you're saying from Broheim, like how are you tied to Broheim? You like helped him out at some point, or you were like part of that group or anything?
I'm not like affiliated with him really in any way, other than I asked him to. I made a Discord for Mordheim because I was like, the only place to really discuss Mordheim online now is on the Facebook group, right? That's where like Thomas Piernan is the most active and everything. So I was like, I'd hate being stuck on Facebook. It's just like, the way that they present it to you, all the complaints, right? The way it's hard to follow the conversation. So it's like, I definitely need to make a Discord. So then the guy Turhan, who runs Broheim, which is really a huge part of keeping Mordheim alive for 25 years.
Oh my God. Huge.
And so I reached out to him. He runs the subreddit. And then I was like, hey, would you help me admin this thing? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So cool. He's like really good with that stuff, So
I forgot how your
I haven't met him in person yet, though.
So you started the Mordheim Discord.
Yeah.
That's your
I made that
brainchild
channel.
with...
Yep. Yeah, he did a lot of the work, I just pretty much started it up, made a couple channels. And then we ended up getting the right like online people from Facebook that like really like kept the discussion going along. Like a couple guys like there's Robin B, Styrofoam King. Yeah, some real lifers,
Styrofoam King. That's a cool last name too.
Oh yeah, he's cool.
The Discord is huge too. The Mordheim Discord's like pretty big.
Yeah, it is big. It's big. I don't know how many. I was looking the other day, but we got a lot of people on there. And then there's like no fighting, like no arguments. Everybody's real nice to each other, and like again, like very generous with like techniques about, and then like rules interactions. The rules page on the Mordheim Discord the rules channel is amazing. You can get an answer like pretty much any time of night or day, and it's pretty much the right one. And that's like it's really huge,
Yeah, I think that as you had linked that to me forever ago, and just going on it, and just the amount of new people coming in and being like, can I make a warband, this kind of warband? And everybody just like there's a ton of information that's just constantly given these new players, and it's really, really great.
I think the only question that ever gets any kind of flack on there is like, can I use round bases instead of square ones?
People love it's crazy how like out of shape people get about that. Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
But there's got to be people who care.
I mean, they might be out there, you know what I mean? But it's like,
you don't care, Paul? Square around?
No. I have my.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. What about Dean? You think Dean cares? Dean's got to be a big square base head.
Dean's a square base head because Dean's playing with his 1999 model still.
Yeah.
He's a purist.
He's not fucking around.
No. He was making a skink warband.
Really?
And I can't remember if he used rounds or squares, but yeah, he's a square guy. He's a square guy in the city of the
Dude, he's got to quit that job. We got a game with him again soon.
I know.
Why is he working late or something?
Paul said he got a big promotion. He's a bigwig now.
Yeah, now he's busy. A couple life changes for him, like all at once. So we haven't seen him.
Jobs are for losers.
I know. Yeah, dude. I really want to. Now I'm like amped on doing terrain. Just go downstairs.
Dude, honestly,
it's the end of the pod. We're gonna go paint some.
Honestly, just grinding fucking coconut bricks in Paul's garage was just like, this is so sick. Yeah. And then you just throw handfuls of it at a glue board, and you're like, whatever sticks. It's cool, whatever.
Instead, I was in the basement just gluing.
Dude, yeah, but you guys got
boards together.
So maybe this will segue into like the more of our Paul interview here. But Paul, you have like 9 heads in your house at all times. And I was saying to Steve, like, I love living in the woods, but man, that like community aspect is very sick.
Yeah, just really neighbors popping in like some fucking home improvement shit.
Dude, you had a dude that came over that
there's no way he cared about Mordheim.
Well, no, so the first guy definitely didn't give a shit about Mordheim, but he was mad supportive. And then you had another dude who came through, and I left. Steve got us sandwiches from Big Y, the best sandwich spot to go to currently, besides Nordelli's.
Shout out Big Y, pod.
Fred,
supporters.
Very
but I put my sandwich on the windshield because it was cold out, and I didn't have my keys. They were in your basement. And I was like, whatever, I'll just leave them here. He came over. He's like, dude, does someone know there's sandwiches on the car? Like, I just want to make sure. And I'm just
came over just to let you know.
I'm like balls deep in this coconut fiber bucket, just like covered in the shit. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's mine. Thanks so much. He's like, oh, dude, you adding texture? And I'm like, how does this guy even know what?
He's just some random?
It was just a random. And like, no offense to the guy, but very normie looking. Like, just very like cool dad shirt.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, dude, you adding texture to the board? And I'm like, yeah, man.
love textures.
Yeah, I
man.
was like, we're just grabbing whatever. He's like, that's very cool.
I'll be right back. Let me go. I could probably got some textures in my garage.
And I was like,
Paul's bred his own community over there.
yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I
Yeah,
think
working
Paul's
on it.
around the corner. He's like, oh no, it's cool. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're just going over to his house? You don't care what Paul is? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been trying to work on Painter for years. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah,
and
he's hung out with us a few times when we're playing, right?
Yeah,
That's
I think
the
almost
guy?
every time
Ryan.
he stopped by. Yeah,
He's your
Ryan.
next
yeah.
door neighbor, right?
Ryan lives around
Ryan's
the corner.
his real
Ben's,
name.
Ben's across the street. No, yeah.
Right, he
So
does have a real
Painter's not a
name.
gamer?
Well, he's like
He's a battle tech head now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Dude. Yeah. What? So I had him and Ben come over, and after I painted up the beginner box, and we did like the one-on-one fight, you know. And so they
Yeah.
did it, and they were like, dude. And Painter was like, I can get into this, you know.
Really?
And it's like, yeah. So he was reading about. He bought, you know. So then he went out and he bought like a whole bunch of stuff from Barnes and Nobles. He left that day, bought the Game of Armored Combat box.
Yeah.
You know. So like we're working on him, and he's got so you know.
Very
So
cool.
now he knows the rules. He knows how to play. You know. So now we just got to learn it to get our reps in, and then we'll expand out to all the other stuff. But
Yeah, because he always seemed really interested in Mordheim. Every time he was there, he would be
Definitely.
like looking
I mean, he's
over
a
and seeing
gamer.
what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, he's a
was-
gamer, but not really like a crafter so
No,
much.
he's like a
but,
PC gamer.
Yeah,
That's how it seemed.
Ah.
definitely. And then Pat, and so Ben across the street, he's a big Sea of Thieves guy, and
That was the dude who came over the first time?
yeah,
Fucked
I
up-
think he was
fucked
over
up
every
arm?
time. No, that was Teabag.
That's what I'm
He
saying,
was,
dude. There's like 9 heads always.
that.
Yeah,
Teabag.
yeah. His
got
pec was
Teabag
ripped off, and
Painter.
he came over there. Yeah, it's like the dude.
Sweet Dean.
He's
Oh,
on,
you guys grounded up some debt?
some dead.
right.
Need some textures.
So after Painter built all those MDF tables, so now it's like, dude, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit him with the totally not panicking kit bash kind of thing. I'm just gonna be like, dude, here's a box of bits.
Yeah.
You know, when you're sitting there during your day,
It's the best
start
way.
making stuff because like
Yeah.
he doesn't want to paint. That's cool. We showed him how like what the Zenithal was all about, and then Gage was showing him how he takes it from there to fully painted. And if you don't want to paint, that's cool. I'll paint them for you. Just build cool stuff. You know.
I also think that people are so hesitant to paint because I think that they think they need to paint well.
It's also overwhelming.
And it is not. Like, I love, like, that werewolf model over there. I am going to mash so much random brown, green, red,
Yeah.
whatever into that, and then just hit it with an oil wash, and it's going to look awesome.
Right.
It's like you don't need to, like,
Well,
be,
it's,
like,
it's
a
giving
perfect
yourself
painter.
permission.
Yeah.
That is the hardest part to do in like a freeing art perspective.
Yeah.
It was for me, and then now it's like, oh, who gives a shit?
Well, look
100%.
at other Paul, third Paul, Chain Paul, at
Who's second, Paul?
the other Paul we were talking about. Weren't we
Wait,
just
Paul
talking about
Wall?
another Paul? Yeah, Paul Wall.
Paul Wall's number 1. Mordheim Paul's number 2.
Mordheim Paul's number 1. Paul Wall's number 2, and then
Chain Paul?
Chain Paul's below Paul Wall. I feel like Paul Wall's Paul number 3.
Dude, Paul Wall owes me $100. He's number 5. I don't give
yeah,
a fuck.
he's down the line. There's other Pauls.
So-
They got Paul. Paul Malkop is Paul number 3. So we got a lot
Paul
of Pauls.
Modilowski, Polish Paul.
There's a Polish Paul.
Oh, that's Halo Paul. Yeah.
Halo Paul.
Halo Paul.
He has all the
dude.
Halo land stuff in his house in a giant bin. That we
Paul's a
land
great
Halo with him.
name too.
A lot of good Pauls out
A
there.
lot of good Pauls.
that was his
Anyways,
name in Deathwish too, Paul Kersey.
There you go.
Oh,
There we go.
that's 7th Paul.
There
That's
we go.
7th Paul.
But Chain Paul at the King of the Kit Bash event at Under the Dice
Oh,
Day,
yeah.
he built that insanely.
Very cool.
Dude, and he was talking down on it.
He was like, "This is the dumbest thing I've
This
ever
is
done."
so
As he's like
stupid.
jamming a baby arm into it and like
It's so
gluing it
cool.
down.
Yeah.
Has glue all over his hands. He's like, "This is so stupid." We took it outside. He's just spray painting it, and then I'm like, "All right, now hit it with the white." He's like, "Why would I do that?" And he does it. He's like, "Oh, that looks sick."
Yeah.
Like, like Zenithal takes off
yeah.
the subject a little bit, but
Yeah.
the Zenithal, like, you can make a kit bash and be like, "Oh, this looks whatever," but the second you add those shadows and all the, just it highlights everything. It just makes your model come together, and I think
Change your
people are
life.
scared because as you're going, you don't see that.
Right.
Get a T-shirt that says "Zenithal highlights changed my life."
What do you eating?
He's eating
Yeah,
donuts.
we got over
dude.
there, dude.
Donuts. What do you fucking think I'm eating? There's a box of donuts right there.
Yeah, we're real official.
you
now.
brought.
Steve brought donuts. Miss Murphy's.
High quality.
Shout
Now,
out.
Are we talking shout out friend of the pod?
Friend
Miss
of the pod,
Murphy?
Miss
No,
Murphy.
dude. We're in Neil's country.
I don't
I
give
know.
a fuck about Neil.
Whoa.
New England.
Only
talk
Neils
here.
I know are
This is
shit
good.
bags.
Whoa.
We're talking New England things here.
Neil's.
Neil's
It's
Donuts.
another thing I've printed a lot of merchandise.
Oh,
Neil's
yeah.
Donuts?
Connecticut.
They're the fucking best.
I mean, they are the best, but
Yeah,
if
sorry,
you're
you
in
can't eat that donut, so you
Massachusetts-
don't
Because
know if
Neil's
it's
are
good.
fucking vegan, so.
Well,
Neil's
yes.
got vegan donuts.
Yeah.
All vegan?
I'm almost all of
I
them.
feel like I knew that.
Yeah. And
From
donuts
back
are
in
one of
the
those
day.
things that they're like, oops. I mean, those are probably vegan too.
Yeah.
They're just like, oops, they're vegan.
You
Like
wanna
Oreos.
Yeah. Well, some of
Oreos
them-
weren't crafted in a lab to be vegan.
Dunkin's got duck fat in it. Dunk like rendered weird shit. in
Yeah.
it.
Really?
Dunk.
Yeah.
Duck.
Duck fat?
I keep saying dunk.
Dunk.
Duck.
Dude, like McDonald's
Dunk 'em.
fries, they have like all of McDonald's fries are like beef stock.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more surprised by the duck fat thing than beef.
Yeah, well, it's like rendered tallow, I think, in there or some shit. I don't know what the fuck they do with it, but
That sounds like some real fucking.
food science.
No, I mean,
Underground
I know
food
it's not, but when
science.
you words like tallow, I'm like, that just sounds like some like industrial revolution shit.
No,
Yeah,
dude, tallow
Like
is the
whale
shit
fat candles or
you
something.
lose.
They still put that in Dunkin' Donuts. They got whale fat in there.
Yeah.
No, it's just mix it up. That's how
That's
they
a theory fact right
Yeah,
there.
that's how they do that. That's how they do the fries at McDonald's. Is they
The
mostly
fries-
just they get whale fat.
They just kill whales.
That'd be a good segue right there. Just a Phil fact and a Terry fact. One's a truth and one's a lie.
Oh, Jesus. But
That's a
which
good
one's
idea.
which?
Exactly.
You got to guess?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Well-
like that.
now we're talking.
Let's
Well,
not say
mine's the
full
true
facts
one.
are all true.
That's why I'm saying.
That's why
this.
they're beautiful. Phil fats are beautiful. But could you grab me one of those, like half a donut? I just want a little piece.
All right, what kind of flavor you want?
All right. Phil walked away, but he's looking at flavors right now. And, I'm going to take just a little hunk of the glazed. We got to eat on the pod. It's tradition.
Now,
Oh God.
A little munching. At least it's not popcorn this time.
I love
you guys should be
popcorn. I'm gonna
happy
go get
about
some
that.
after this at the cinema down
That's
the road.
fine as long as it's not into the microphone.
Talking Mordheim, though, we had a question, right?
Yeah,
question,
yeah,
a
question.
Mordheim question. This is a pretty good question. Who sent us
You know,
this,
it's all right.
Steve?
It's a 9 out of 10.
Friend of the pod. I don't know if he wants me to say his real name, so I'm just gonna say it. And then if he doesn't like it, I mean, sorry.
Just bleep it out.
So friend of the pod, Chris White, aka at Crypt Acrylic.
The homie,
The
Cryptochilic, whose
was-
teeth I will kiss at Adepticon.
Kissing teeth, baby. Teeth touching.
Where's the Google Doc? Oh man,
Oh, good. This will be cut.
no, we'll leave all this in.
Yeah, I mean,
No, this
Where's
episode
the
can be
content?
posted as is.
we
Oh,
got
now we
burps.
got to edit it.
Yeah, you just peeked the microphone with that burp.
All right.
No, not really.
So
And the
someone
kiss.
else can read this because I don't like reading long-winded things.
I'll read it. I'll read it.
You don't have a reading.
He doesn't know how to read.
This one right here.
Yeah, the big one.
All right. Dude, we already are skipping in our list that we prepared.
No, it's all right.
So, if GW releases Mordheim, do you think it will affect this side of the hobby? Obviously, it will bring more people to the game, but it will lose some of its charm if the scene is flooded with new, clean models and paint jobs, and other content that's not as filthy and interesting as the stuff that the fan community has created to keep it alive. I know this sounds like a question, like a kind of elitist dickhead question metal nerds would ask, like, would Cannibal Corpse still be cool and edgy if they got radio play, or should we kill phony celebrities that wear black metal shirts as a fashion statement? But since GW has a stranglehold on the IP, it's not unreasonable to think that Mordheim could get a lot less cool if GW decides to pick it back up.
Well, we should kill celebrities.
So kill
Is that
all
the
the
question?
celebrities.
Yeah, kill all celebrities.
I think that is very much up to the individuals in the community themselves.
Yeah.
Because the first thing that I thought when I read that question was like, well, all of these people, they like, I don't know if they play 40K, but they like 40K. They're they're all about the aesthetic and the lore. And I mean, what's more popular than 40K in this world? And
in this world.
in this world.
In this
Everything.
world
In this
of
world.
ours.
Like-
No, I mean in the
I'm
hobby
just
world.
fucking around with you.
But I think obviously it has potential, but I think it's more so that this is kind of a community full of contrarians, and if something picks up steam, I think
Yeah.
people, and that I don't say that in a judgmental way.
You should say it how you feel.
No, I mean I grew up reading Marvel comics. Keep them the fuck away. I hate superheroes now. Get it the fuck away
Wow.
from me. I'm a contrarian. I get it, but like I said, I think that it is really up to the individuals to continue to, foster the community. You know what I mean? Like if Mordheim comes back, I don't think a Discord server is gonna blow up if Mordheim comes
that's-
back.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
But do you my thought on it is
I don't even remember
I think
what
of
I said yesterday.
the contrast between Necromunda from 2001 when it first came out.
97.
97. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Comes out in 97 with all that art, everything.
Yeah.
That was brutal. That was a crazy game for the time. Which nowadays you could put out anything and it wouldn't be really that crazy. But the stark contrast between those books and the art and how everything looks compared to the new Necromunda books,
Yeah.
worlds apart.
Now, what's with all the babying? Everything is like feels like it's got babied down. Like D&D. I complain about 5e all the time. How it's like everything's sparkling. Everything's got a glow.
You got a mass appeal. That old Necromunda book is not mass appeal. It's for weirdos like us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like we're different. It's like
like
just in general the
different.
people that are drawn to those like darker aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's not a widely accepted thing. Like you can't put the old Necromunda book on a shelf.
But
You
that
couldn't put the
sucks.
Mordheim book on a shelf at Barnes and Noble.
You take so much of the soul out of
Well-
it by like cleaning it up.
I think the more sparkly some things get, like if 5e gets more sparkly, then like games like Zweihander and shit are gonna stand out more anyway.
Yeah.
And
And that's true.
The other thing too is that a lot of people could be introduced to a game by the sort of mainstream, sort of version of it, and then find their way to a different community. So again, it's up to the people that are part of the community to keep it going. Stewardship.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, definitely. That's a good point. That's something that when Bill Ruined.501 on Instagram did that event last year, they had a presentation and a interview or like a question and answer session with the creator of Mordheim, and that's kind of like what he said at the end of it. Was that he's like, look at you guys, what you're doing. And he's like, that's what you need to do. That's what all the people who play this game should do is like, take care of it, foster the community, and like show more people it, which is pretty much when I saw that, I was like, all right. And then I called Steve the next day, because he had mentioned doing something before. I was like, all right, let's go. But like, yeah, I mean, that's really what it's all about,
Because like I've actually never played Necromunda. I've heard that the current version is ass. Is there a community that plays like old Necromunda still?
Yes. YakTribe.net, I think. It's very similar to Broheim. It's the OG Necromunda website.
Yeah. You just have to take ownership for your hobby and your sort of for lack of a better word, your sort of like subculture.
I actually believe there's a
And
living
don't rely on some corporation to tell you
how to play.
What
how
is
to play.
fun?
Yeah.
But then will a resurgence of more like a rebranding or a re-putting out of Mordheim, will that ruin the underground version of it?
I don't know. I don't think it would if
I think I don't know. Like I said, I get the impulse to be like contrarian and say like, well, fuck, if this isn't a popular thing, like forget it.
I don't think
but,
that
like,
that's the mindset though. I think it's when you take something that is beloved by so many people. Like, granted, it's in a smaller niche community.
Yeah.
It's beloved by so many people for a reason.
Yeah.
So, like, if you just take what it is and be like, oh, yeah, Mordheim in Age of Sigmar, it's like, oh, I don't want to play that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to play Age of Sigmar in Age of Sigmar. I just, like, my head is
true.
rattled in the old world still. But, like,
True.
if you took, like, the living rulebook, like, with all the FAQs and everything, and you took that with all the old art and just were like, yeah, here's the Mordheim book. We just, like, cleaned it up and made it nicer. I think that would have a really good reception, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's the route they would go.
No, you're right. I mean, the more I think about it, the more it's like Dark Age of Sigmar exists, Inc. 28 exists, where it's just like you're taking 40K stuff and just using it in a darker setting, or you're taking AOS stuff and you're using it in a darker setting. It's like those things still exist and those games are still played.
I mean, it's the same thing with like bringing it to RPGs. People are still playing second edition. No,
Yeah.
Just because a new edition comes out doesn't mean you have to play it
Well, I've
anyway.
been saying that for years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, OSR exists for a reason. It's not like these people are like, oh, well, 6th edition's out. I guess I can't play my campaign anymore.
I'm
It's
sure
like,
some people might, though.
well, those people are losers.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what? So let's say, let's say hypothetically, next year GW puts out, a new Mordheim with a new rule set. Is that gonna peel people away from our community?
I wonder.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
I think if you were like Nemo 24 and you were like same rulebook, I don't think anyone would bat an eye at like what you're doing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
if anything, it would I don't want to say
Although
it would
then-
strengthen it, but...
Then you got
sure.
the GW lawyers looking at you.
Well, yes and no, but I would say, like, all right, cool. You've got Mordheim 2024 heads on this side of the room, and you've got OG heads on this side of the room, and
Yeah.
play
Yeah,
whatever you
well-
want, because we're all here. I mean, a fan-made event anyway is just for the vibe of hanging out with freaks like yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not like... If someone's coming out to Chicopee and then they're gonna bully you for playing the wrong version of Mordheim.
That's
It's
me.
like,
I'm the bully.
What are you trying to say about Chicopee, eh?
Yeah, it's the city of the dam for a reason.
Oh, I know.
City. It's got the Dugout Cafe.
it had that title long before this event.
I will say, moving to God's country really, put it in perspective for me.
Yeah.
I want to return to that though. What you just said about like, it's you had touched on it earlier before we started recording about like. No, they're not pulling up on your house.
It could be.
The game and the community and like how you play and like the lens you look at it through is so important to who you play these games with. And like when we all met, like I know I'd met you playing like Magic the Gathering like years ago, but like when we really met was at your house for the first time at Mordheim,
Right?
Like at your doing your game and like you said it better. I don't know if you want to reiterate your thought.
You guys had a MTG meet cute.
We met at through
I
like
didn't
Kyle
realize that
Nyland and
you-
like Drew and Terry.
Yeah, I know that
Really?
I had played
Yeah.
with Paul, and I knew Drew, and like maybe Kyle Nyland had played, but it
I think we just briefly met. Like I don't even know if we
okay.
played
Yeah.
Kinda
together.
At like a
wild.
shop.
At tabletop.
Tabletop, yeah.
Tabletop
Yeah,
shop.
we played a
way
game of
back in the
Commander
day.
one
Probably
time.
ConnecticCon at that point. No, maybe Tabletop Shop might have been in the new. It was probably actually the
Because
friendly
remember we used to
neighborhood
play
Tabletop Shop.
Tuesday night Pauper.
Yeah.
But nobody
Oh.
showed up.
Yeah.
And Steve was there, and then Drew gave me a commander deck or something like
Yeah.
that. We played, but if they were gonna re-release it, like I think that it would be cool because like a lot of people would see it for the first time, who had never seen it. Because
Yeah.
there are still people who don't even know it exists, right?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have like all those like salty old people who just don't like to see something change, But it's like after meeting you guys and playing with you guys, it's like I know that like remember when that dude from work, Nate, came over, with the guy who walked in with the Mork board in his hand at my house, and it's like I'm listening to him and Gage talk about RPGs, and it's like Nate and his friends have been playing this game for like 25 years, and they just stuck with the rule set that they liked. You know what I mean? Which was like 6 rule sets later, and it was like. So like we're safe from anything. All we're gonna get is great new models. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's not like they ever stopped making models for Mordheim. If you think about it, like
No,
all those
totally.
guys over in Nottingham know what they're doing. They know about it. So they're gonna
Guild generals.
they're gonna like They're
Yeah.
gonna keep like pumping us with stuff. So I would like kind of if the game's not and the game might be better, because it might not that
Brian said it himself. There's things he would have changed about the game.
right yeah
The
Sorry if I
original?
said his name wrong.
yeah I mean I don't really remember how to say his name correctly either but
Tommy P.
So like when he made it, he was kind of like shackled to the edition of Warhammer Fantasy at the time. So
Oh,
that's why
shit.
certain rules are the way they are.
I think it was 5th edition.
Yeah, fifth or sixth, I think. Or actually, I think he wrote 6, so he was tied to 5th of Fantasy. But that's the reason why certain things are certain ways in the game. But so there would be like changes, and then who knows what it would look like nowadays. Nowadays it'd probably be like alternating activations and all kind of stuff like that. So it could be a like more dynamic way to play the game, which would be cool. But like I would like. I mean, I don't need it, but I would welcome it because it's like, okay, it's only going to add to
Yeah,
me.
true.
As far as like the art direction and style, we all know that would be a huge step down because you just can't beat that black book, and it'll never be rivaled.
That would suck though. Then that's almost.
I wouldn't
the
be able
biggest
to
When he
read the
mentioned
book.
that, I was like, oh, geez, I didn't actually think of that. Like, look at the Necromunda art now, right? It's all like, I mean, I don't know,
Sparkly.
something about
Yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah,
corny.
it is
That's
kind of corny.
crazy. I have.
So I would hate to see that, but like what, and then also like if they change the tone of the game, that would be like where I would have an issue. You know what I mean? Like Necromunda is probably the same as it was. It was always this grimy, dirty thing,
Yeah.
right? Well, Mordheim is this pretty defined thing. It's low fantasy. You know what I mean? It has its rules. This is something else he touched on in his presentation. So I would like look at that on YouTube. But it has like its pretty defined rules. So it's not like Age of Sigmar. It's like anything goes. Like I don't watch those Marvel movies, but it seems like there's like alternate dimensions and stuff like that. And so is anything of any consequence? Like that kind of a thing. So like the groundedness of Mordheim, I think, is what makes it really cool too. Everybody's a dirtbag. It's like the worst of the worst. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the general popularity of skirmish games in recent years, anyway, I feel like it's gonna come back sooner rather than later.
What do you think they would
Especially
do with Warcry?
I don't know.
gives a
Keep it what it is.
Well,
you know what I mean? Because I've never played Warcry. I've never played any of their box games, but the fact that they keep throwing out more, and I think they're going to lean more into that anyway. I think that's probably a more cost-effective way for them to make money.
Warcry is to
smaller
kill
skirmish
team
games,
as Mordheim is to Necromunda. Like Necromunda is the super. Every weapon has a different thing. Every item has a different thing. Guys can be kitted out with anything, whereas Kill Team, your guy gets this gun or maybe
Mordheim.
this gun.
I imagine it would still have like a post game, probably a bit more like Age of Sigmar's
They're
Path to Glory.
Getting there with Warcry.
Yeah,
I think this is why I don't think they're, because we've had this talk before. I don't think they're going to come out with a new Mordheim.
No,
I think they're going to keep leaning harder into Warcry to push it in that
make
direction.
it more and Mordheim
Because the campaign rules that they have with each of these new big boxes are getting there.
Yeah,
I mean, like, look at our Age of Sigmar campaign. The after game rolling
part
is very similar to Mordheim. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's okay in an
more
army
streamlined.
perspective.
It's more streamlined.
You can't really say that these heroes are going and falling into wells because it's an army.
I will say if they didn't do Mordheim, I would say they almost certainly would do a Warcry Mordheim expansion, like its own, like because they do like the Heart of Gur, all this shit. I could see them doing like a Mordheim City of the Damned like box set expansion.
Well,
thing.
also from a lore perspective, how would that make any fucking sense?
What the fuck do you mean? Anything in the game doesn't make sense.
No, I
Like,
understand. I understand that, but I mean, like,
Well,
Mordheim's in Old World, right?
Yeah. Well, the
So-
thing
Yeah,
is,
so
with
is
their
half the stuff in the freaking Age of Sigmar. Like that stuff like exploded and it's like it still exists. Like
The beasts were floating in space.
I think this just goes back to you just having a fundamental misunderstanding of the AOS like
Oh yeah, I
lore
forgot
and
that.
world building.
My guy is an old world stan over here. He
Yeah,
does
yeah,
not care about any mortal realms.
I get it. It's like all new
No, I'm just
worlds,
fucking
but like
around.
I don't. You're right. I didn't. Conceptually, Age of Sigmar makes no fucking sense. Like as a world
It does
exploding from an
to
old
you.
world.
It does.
I think
under
you are
magnifying glass.
too hung up on that.
Yeah, I like
yeah.
it. Go on.
Well, I played.
I wanna
through-
hear about
I
this.
played Warhammer Fantasy when that was happening. So like they're like, yeah.
Yeah,
by
so
the way,
did
the
I.
world blows up, and now there's this new world. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
so here's the
the
thing.
thing. I also hated the way that they killed fantasy. You know what though? I get over it.
well, that's good for you. I have a problem.
But you're that guy now. You're
Yeah.
that guy.
But I like Age of Sigmar.
They didn't take Old World from you. It's still there.
I like Age of Sigmar. I just can't
Age of Sigmar-
conceptualize it, so I play Age of Sigmar in my head. Like if I play your Beastmen,
No, I know because like it's funny when we write our post battle reports. Steve's like clearly writing in a different setting than everyone else is like writing their narrative. That's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I just can't. Like I don't got time to learn 17 new realm gates and all the fucking different.
Do you
planes.
think?
Yeah, my boy hates learning.
I
Do you
hate
think that's from a you have gotten older and you have less time to care perspective, or do you think it's from a
Salty bastard.
I was gonna say salty bastard point of view?
I think it's both.
I mean, those are technically the same thing. But
Yeah.
I think. Look, I mean, it's. I love the old world. It's
Yeah.
the game I grew up playing. It's like what I know. It's what I like. And then when the company that I play games is just like, yeah, we got to revitalize it. You know what? Boom, it's gone. We got
Yeah.
a new world, new stuff.
so
Check
what if
it
they
out.
what if they
I
did that
hear
with
that.
Mordheim?
If they blew it up and then said, check it out, we got City
Mordheim-
of the Cursed. I'd be like,
Mordheim-
well, that's kind of fucking stupid.
Mordheim 2024 is here. The other one was sucked through a portal, and
Yeah,
now it's
now
all
it's
inverted
floating.
and it's floating. Mordheim is now a floating.
I still-
city.
That would be kind of cool, honestly.
I'm still-
That's kinda, I played World of Warcraft, though, so floating cities is cool.
Yeah, man. If you play World of Warcraft, I feel like there's should be no issue with like Age of Sigmar.
Literally, when I
Lore.
think of Age of Sigmar Realm Gates, I think of the Dark Portal. That's all I see in my head. Is
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I stepped through a portal and now I'm in a fucking the Burning Crusade. Now I'm at the Burning Steps.
Either way, I'm sticking my guns. I still think they bring Mordheim back. It's money on the table. It's like, it's such like a hype thing on the internet too. You know,
I probably sound like
really
such an
and I mean
asshole.
they're bringing
you
back they're bringing back the old world anyway.
What time? So we know that like Mordheim is in 1999 of the imperial calendar of like the timeline. Do you know like when they're coming back to the old world?
Like the
It
year
is
set?
it is
Yeah, the
it
weird-
is in the past, like of
Right.
the, like the current set or like the setting in which Warhammer the old world takes place.
It's before that.
Is I think like hundreds of years before like the end times or what have you.
Right, because yeah, so I don't really know much about like the old world like history, like what year
mean, me
what
neither.
year it blew up for the end times. But I wonder like how close to 1999 they're bringing it back to,
shit.
you know, or if they're going to.
The new millennium.
I think they said something about the time of the three
millennium.
emperors or something like that, but I don't know. I mean, all I've seen is
The
pictures.
romance of the three kingdoms.
That's the whole game so far.
Yeah.
Just a couple pictures.
It'll just end up being Empire only, and you can only play like Nuln
Yes.
and like Middenheim.
They did do Tomb Kings. They did a Tomb
Oh,
Kings
cool.
picture.
Oh
I saw,
yeah, they got
yesterday.
Kislev and shit,
Got some
which I would love.
Bretonians.
Dude, get some
that.
sick Kislev guys.
Now they're only going to bring back Mana War. That's the only game they're bringing back.
Yeah,
Mana War was it, right?
Manowar
Ocean-based
ki-
combat
ki-
game.
Manowar had some kind of sick shit. Skaven had this really fucked up ship that I want to say was just. It was like the corpse of a giant fish. Let me look it up.
see, that's
That's
sick.
cool.
Manowar Skaven.
Dude, you need to make one of those.
All right, see, that's next. But you know what?
Just get a real-
Spaceships are so much easier than fucking
Yeah.
boats.
Dude, I cannot believe. So, did you post those online?
He
I just
posted
did. I
last
posted them
time.
on the Discord, and then I posted a story. Or
So
whatever.
one of those, we had the new Magic set came out. People were drafting, whatever, just chilling at my house. You came over.
Yeah.
Phil was painting up his Minotaur.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
came over and just dug through exclusively like the shit part of the bits bins.
Yeah.
And you put together probably
Yeah, it's right there.
the coolest ship I've ever seen of just like actual garbage.
Yeah, it's like all sorts of. Oops, I just ripped it right off the base. Whatever. It's like all. A lot of
check
them are
this
like
out.
Necron pieces, but there's some like
Dreadfleet.
chaos
I don't know why I
stuff
keep
in
calling
there.
it Manowar.
That's
No, I
Manowar
thought
is
it was
like
Manowar.
No,
Manowar-
Manowar is like a. I think that's Mantic.
Manowar's.
Oh shit!
Really? Because I'm looking at Dreadfleet. Right, Dreadfleet is what I'm thinking of. As
Oh,
far
I
as
do.
that
I do think they
Skaven
have
shit.
two ocean-based combat games
Dreadfleet.
or sea-based combat games. I think I remember somebody complaining about that in the Discord.
That is very sick.
Right, dude. It's just. I mean, there's so much fun.
This
for all
is
your
like 80
leftover bits.
pieces.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a lot.
Skaven
It's
foot.
so funny too
Whoa.
because those are the things you always
Dreadfleet
see
is
on the
a-
sprues, like at the battle standard. You know, like that's the stuff that's just sitting in the bins.
Exactly.
That's
Actually,
awesome.
is a limited edition game by Games Workshop.
See, yeah, just
So it
two
must have been like a
sea-based
board
combat
game or
games.
something.
Yeah, you guys got to check this out. What's this? The Ska Bus?
That's the Skaven boat. It's like a giant anglerfish corpse.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's
Real
really
boy
cool.
shit. What's
Yeah.
the name?
The name?
Yeah, what's the name of this thing?
It's
Ska Bus?
Scabrous. Skabrus.
I was like, what wave of ska?
What wave of ska?
Bringing us back.
No, so
The 13th wave of ska.
dude,
got
yeah,
it.
that-
Got it. That's the Skaven number.
Oh, dude, nice. Dude, cheers,
Yeah.
bro.
So this is what Terry made.
Oh yeah,
In
it's
just, like, an
we were just
hour.
sitting and just slapping pieces together.
I know what every single bit on here is. and
I know
love
it's
it.
fun. I don't know. There's some parts that I'm like, that doesn't really work, but they're just so much fun to make because they're out of like. And I talked about this last time. I'm just saying the same fucking thing, but it's just random bits.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a real
very-
compliment to your vision. You know what I mean? To see that and come up with it.
It's
pretty
very
cool.
much an Imperial ship.
Yeah, that one I would say for sure. There are some things on there that are a bit chaosy, but I kind of like tweaked it up. But I don't know really what like I don't know if we'll ever play freaking Battlefleet
I'm
Gothic.
begging you to play.
I mean, I would be totally
Are
down.
you trying to play it, or
Yes.
just him?
It is
No, I'm trying. I've been trying to play this game forever.
if I'm gonna play it.
Fun.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
have
you
the-
were
I
the one.
have
We
models,
said this
like-
last episode. You were the one that said talk shit on it, and you were
I
like,
don't-
"I'm never playing."
You did say the same thing about Mordheim. You know, I
That's-
could cut this out, but
Steve said,
was
"I'm
a hater."
never playing Mordheim. The rule book is way too thick." And I said, "Dude, I met Paul, and he rocks, and we need to play here."
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like,
Let's
I don't
just
know,
try
man.
it
It's
out,
a lot.
Steve.
And
now
I did.
and now the people are flying from
I
all
have
over
played
North
I
America.
have played Battlefleet Gothic though. I
Oh,
said
yeah.
the Mordheim comment before I'd ever even looked at the rule book, other than the size of the book, and I knew it was 20 years old. I was like, "There's no fucking way I'm learning this rule book and playing this game."
And now look at you, right?
Thick as thieves.
Jesus. Yeah, no, I would love to. I would love to play it and try it out. Honestly, I would love to figure out a way to make a more grimy version of it because it really is just like big ships floating around.
One-page
Boom,
rules
boom, boom.
has their own
and see that's
variant, I
sick.
believe, of the game.
I would love fucking floating asteroids and shit. Have
Yeah,
some
man.
sort of rules on those, like where they're going.
Each board has what's it? The guy who just made the fishing 28 game that I'm sure people.
No, I have to
Oh,
hear
what?
about Fishing
No.
28.
So, I looked through
It's
it.
been popping up.
We were actually going to try and rip it before D&D on Friday.
It looks so easy.
It
looks so fun.
we were just talking about it, but people kind of showed up a little earlier than we thought. It's sick.
Yeah.
It's very
Do you
sick.
think people aren't going to like the fishing part of it? Is that
No,
why you're
it's
like,
cool.
No,
Yeah, it
but
sounds
like
sick.
looking at it, I was like, this could be a space game. Like
Yeah.
the D4 edges of where the fish go, like that
Yeah,
could just
absolutely.
be the asteroids.
that's
like
how it
it's
is.
very simple. Like
Give it a fucking week. Steve's gonna have a whole new rule set
I know.
written up for it.
Yeah,
Listen.
can you talk about Flames of
Flames of Orion.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
just out? Is it just like
I mean, it's in working. Like you can play test it. I have the
Yeah.
book. I'm being like kind of discretionary where I give it.
yeah.
But me and Brian played it for like 3 hours. With Eric jumped in the middle of it. We played a multiplayer game. Like Brian gave a lot of good ideas. Eric had some ideas. Like, and I just toolkitted the rules I already had, added stuff to it, and now it's like in a playable PDF format. Like
Can you give people the breakdown of what it is?
it's mech combat in the far future, and it's essentially I wanted to play BattleTech with all the
Yeah.
models I had, but I didn't want to read the rulebook.
Hell yeah.
Once again,
To be fair,
this book's too big.
to be fair, before we went to Adepticon, Gage and me sat down and we're like, all right, BattleTech, we're going to learn it. We're going to play it right now. And then we got there and we looked at the box and we were looking at the rulebook and we were like, I don't know, man.
We had like 4 hours to hang out, and I looked at the rules and I went, "This is another day, Steve."
Well, somebody had told me that BattleTech is like a binder game.
Yes.
Like you got a binder of stats for all of your things. But then Alpha, what is
Alpha
it?
Strike.
Alpha Strike is not that
It's
way.
condensed.
It's different.
So like the hit charts,
Yeah.
like you'll have 100 little pips on each little part of your mech. So like an arm can fucking break off and shit.
Yeah.
Alpha Strike, just from me barely glancing at this, Evan, don't yell at me. I'm sorry.
You have 10 pips.
You have like 10 pips total for your whole mech.
But it's
Oh,
still
okay,
like
okay.
broken up by a diagram of your mech, which I've heard it's not as cool, but
Not as cool as like the big game.
yes. But
Okay.
Alpha Strike can take 2 to 4 hours as opposed to a full weekend of playing.
yeah.
Oh,
But so I looked at those games and I'm like, I love mechs, I love Gundam, I
Yeah.
love all this shit. Armored
Totally.
Core is sick. But
yes.
all these games are so crunchy, and I want a simple D6. I could play
Yeah.
this in 20 minutes, so that's what we did. I
Yeah,
did
and it would be fun as hell to like
That's
kit
how
bash some
the Flaming Globes of Sigmund was born.
Yeah.
flaming globes.
Flaming Globes.
What do you want as flaming globes?
I'm sorry, that was a Seinfeld joke. Never mind.
I don't watch Seinfeld.
All
I
six
love
people will
friggin'
love
Seinfeld,
that.
but-
Yeah.
Listen, dude, I'm Seinfeld all
I
day,
could
but I don't remember
guess
the
who
flaming
in the
globes.
Discord
Is that the
likes
hippie
Seinfeld.
guy?
No, Flaming Globes of Sigmund is
Here, tell the
so
fans. they understand.
Jerry's asleep on the couch.
I hate
and
this.
Oh, I know
And
this.
he
episode.
like wakes up and sees like 10 seconds of like this
Yes.
sci-fi movie, and
And
it's
it's
like Larry David in a
did- yeah.
spacesuit, just the globes, they're on fire, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that he's like, I threw away this piece of paper. It had the joke on it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he was like, it's the best joke I've ever come up with, and I just can't figure it out. And then he just finds the paper at the end. It just is the flaming globes of Sigmund on it. Nice,
Yeah.
dude. All right.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
Dude, Seinfeld rocks. It's not a particularly hot take, but it's just really good. Phil's off the pod now. He says he's quitting because we don't like Larry David's masterful creations, but they are very good. Now we got some show and tell. Speaking of BattleTech, no, wait, we do have show and tell about BattleTech,
Oh, we do have that.
but
Quick
I wanna,
thing.
I want to know about this. But then now Phil has just left the building,
Well,
guys. He's so mad.
All right, I'll just finish talking about Flames. 'Cause-
Yeah. Oh,
So-
honestly, please do. Yeah.
So Flames of Orion, it's a mix of everything I think is cool about war games. It's a skirmish war game in the far future. I'm working on some little bits of lore. I don't like tying too much lore because I like people being able to like take what it is and
Yeah.
put their own world to it. But there'll be little things in there.
Fill up their own little.
Yeah, fill in your own stuff.
I want to make some trash robots, dude. Really
Exactly.
bad. That would be
I've
a
been
lot
kit
of fun.
bashing mine, and they're
Dude,
they're pretty cool.
so before I even knew anything about BattleTech, I loved Mech Warrior and the Mech Assault games.
Yep.
The Atlas was always the coolest thing. You cut the head off an Atlas, and it hurt me.
Literally my least favorite looking model. That head is so stupid. I took
Face
my-
of the franchise.
Way.
The face of
I
the
bought
franchise.
I bought that box and the Atlas came in it, and I almost didn't buy it because the Atlas was in it.
God.
And I
sick.
went home. I immediately cut the head off.
It made him sick.
Dude, I've been playing a ton of Mech Warrior 7, the fucking MMO version. I've been saving all my whatever
buy a
currency it
fucking
is to buy an
Atlas.
Atlas, dude. The Danielle
off.
variant. It's
So
sick.
Atlas is BattleTech. It's the face. So many BattleTech
It's a skull
people,
head BattleTech.
All our fans who love BattleTech just just turned off the podcast.
Yeah.
Right
Infamous model is
They're pissed.
Well, they
What's
can,
the other one? The Mad Cat? I don't know.
now.
Mad Cat Timberwolves.
Yeah, it's got
went.
the cone. It's kind of got like the B-52 like front
Oh,
face.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one of those. That one's cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I found that old Mech Warrior BattleTech model in the Bits bin a long time ago. It's like the traditional Mech Warrior model. I glued some rocket pods to it from... Coincidentally, I cut an arm off another BattleTech and turned it into a rocket pod and glued it to it. And then I showed Evan, and Evan was hyped on it, and he made me like custom stat cards. He's like, "What do you want them to be
I
called?"
love Evan, dude, he's so freaking cool.
He's the man. Evan, you rock.
Evan, you rock.
Get you on the
This is an
pod.
Evan worship pod.
Yeah, this
But
is
yeah.
really.
I made all those
really
mechs.
is.
BattleTech is cool, and then I was like, "Yeah, make a system, D6, make it easy." I have like after game casualty rolls. There's charts. There's the whole 9 yards. There's a shop. Buy extra stuff. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Hey man, I'm really stoked. I'm gonna make some trash bots for sure. Now Paul brought something, and I
Show and
yelled,
tell. This
I
is show and
yelled
tell.
at you guys to put it away. We're gonna open it on the podcast.
That was
And
good.
so-
That was good. Yep.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be great.
I would say put it right.
Yeah, we don't have my
middle
light
here.
anymore.
Here,
I'm
no,
sorry,
flip
guys.
this over.
Oh yeah, the
there
stand.
you go.
Don't look.
Drop it.
Stop
Break.
looking.
Fucking drop it.
Just snap the head off.
Stop looking.
Okay, so
wanna
Steve
look.
and I were like
Wait,
thinking
you don't
about
know what
stuff
it
we
is?
wanted
No,
to do.
I yelled
Um,
for put it
For
back.
the
Dude, there's a lot of green. I just saw a lot of
yeah,
green.
so we wanted it like a really cool model to be like the centerpiece of like the final scenario at the event. So we decided to reach out to a guy on Instagram, Paxacrilla. who
No
sent-
fucking way.
Yeah, who
What?
sent us one of the models he made, you know. So I said, I was trying to be respectful to the guy. I'm like, what do you know, anything you want to let go of? You want to make us something? What do you want to do? And he goes, yeah, I got this one that I made. He said, and I'd be happy to send it to you
No
guys.
fucking way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
so he sent us the Godfrick.
Holy
Godric
Godric the
Grafted.
gold,
Fan-
the grafted.
fan-
Yeah.
Fans of Elden Rings and Dark Souls alike will instantly recognize
Dude,
this model.
Yeah, this was like a
is-
really iconic. This model really hit.
It's very big Elden Ring worship.
Yeah, you want to swing that light over
Yeah.
here? It'll pretty much come all the way over, and then we could kind of tilt it.
Yeah, so it was really amazing to see that thing. It got completely blown up when
You showed the
shipping?
picture you sent was just like 18 pieces.
yeah, but
Oh shit! Really? From shipping?
yeah, he packed it well too, but it got really blown up. But anyways, I was able to get it back together, and then I was gonna prime it before I brought it over, but then we were talking, and I thought it'd be nice for everybody to get a chance to really see it up close.
We got to do the base
Like,
too.
The green
before.
stuff work is
I would
crazy.
just use coconut
That is
fiber on
like.
it.
Yeah.
So this is,
a couple stones.
I mean, I'm sure we're not cool enough for him to listen, but this has got to be a milliput green stuff mix,
That's
right?
got to be a mix.
Yeah, that-
because of
definitely.
the color,
Yeah.
and it's not consistent. So,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's all. That's like one of the.
Look at the armor plating on that arm.
I mean, I'm sure this will be posted somewhere for people to see
Yeah.
later
No,
on.
no, this is secret
later
for
on.
now.
I'm saying, that.
You don't get to
man.
see until Nemo.
yeah,
but-
all of you are gonna have to wait. But like,
Well, it's on his. He posted on his Instagram.
Yeah, but you don't know what model we're talking about
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he
we
has
could be
two
talking about
versions
that,
of
yeah.
it.
Oh, he does have two
fingers,
versions.
the
Yeah,
toes,
the toes, yeah.
the armor
Yeah,
plates.
this MF sculpted toenails.
Dude, the hands were so impressive to me. And then
power
so
gauntlet
like
is so
when we
sick.
get under,
Yeah.
you guys all got to look at it under the light because you can kind
Yeah.
of you can kind of like reverse engineer what he's done in a few spots, you know. But I was really impressed, like underneath those robes and the armor. He must practice as he does, as he does the things because even the
building
parts
up,
you
kind of.
can't see, he's modeled like the musculature of the arms and stuff like that too. You know, it's like biceps and triceps.
Yeah.
it's like unbelievable.
Wow.
And then
Listeners, I'm disappointed for you guys that you can't see this.
yeah,
so
another thing that really
I'm
impressed
with
me
ya.
was the different materials, the way he's able to like I don't know, represent them or like emulate them on there. You know,
Yeah.
it's really cool. Which reminded me of that video I posted on Discord. Was the Last Light Creative?
Yeah.
He has like this really cool video about the stages of green stuff curing, and that was like, oh my gosh, like that's how these guys do it. You know what I mean? It's
the
like,
layering is nuts on this.
yeah, it
They let
really
it
is.
sit for like 2 hours while it's curing, and then they go back.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
Mess with
You know,
it.
that's how he gets those hard edges like that on those armor.
That amount of
panels.
patience
I know.
I don't
know.
have it.
does not exist.
It was really It was really like disheartening to hear that because like I'm not that guy.
yeah,
I know.
I want 2 pieces of a metal model to join. I take green stuff, I smash super glue, and I put it together. That's
But I wonder if the way to really go about that is to build like 7 of them.
Yeah,
And by the
yeah.
time you're at the 7th, the
Has to be.
first one's
Oh,
ready to
yeah.
do the second layer, and then you could just do the same cycle again and again.
I would
until
almost
you
wonder if that's why
do
there's
it.
2 of them. Like if he was doing.
No, that was the same dude. Oh, that was another thing about this guy. He's amazing. This guy, he cut the arm off of this model, and like he had milled another one with a
Yeah.
He had built 2 versions of this thing, and like he cuts them up after he's done with them. Like we had to wait a long time to get this one because he had cut off body parts off of it to use on something else.
So sick.
It's really amazing.
Phil's taking illegal photos right now on his phone.
Don't do that.
He's
He's
posting
leaking it. He's leaking.
Yeah, he's posting it right
Where
now.
have you ever seen me post a picture?
That's true.
Anywhere ever? No, I want to send it to my Elden Ring friends.
Those fucking losers.
Those fucking losers.
So when
Yeah,
I was
nobody likes
Okay,
Elden
we're
Ring.
playing a much. we're playing a real bad game now.
yeah, we're talking about a roguelike.
We're playing Overwatch 2.
Oh, you losers!
Dude, that game rocks,
I know.
Phil.
Dude,
Hell
it is-
yeah.
I don't like PvP games and I don't like shooters. It's stupid fun cartoons.
Is that the
fun.
painted pink
Yeah.
and purple?
Dude, who's your main? Who's your main?
Oh, Winston.
Yeah, absolutely.
makes-
What's
I knew
Winston,
it.
the monkey?
Yeah,
He's
I see
he's
it.
like
I
a
knew that
gorilla in a
shit.
spacesuit.
That's so sick. Somehow I knew that.
I'm a
Dunstan.
somber main.
I like
I'm
Roadhog.
I'm an 8 man.
You
That's
would.
how-
Yeah.
Shotgun.
He's
and a
also
fucking
I can only
grappling hook,
I can
right?
only play. He has like 3 things.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of the characters seem like they're way like complex.
He's gotten changed over the years though.
Yeah.
Danny is a competitive Overwatch player.
Yeah.
Her and Gregor fucking grind the ranking in that game.
Oh man.
So
Dude, they
stay at home from work.
I
Fucking,
played one morning
would-
with them when I had off, and like I was like, all right, I've got 3 hours in, I'm ready to get off. And
Dude,
they're
they're
like, all
like-
right, we'll see you later.
They're like SEAL Team 6 fucking call outs. And I'm like, guys, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just trying to boot people with my little base cannon, and I'm trying to hack people with my other character, and you guys got to chill.
I've probably played less than 10 games total, so I wouldn't want to play with them.
They're
I would be ashamed. Played less than 10 games total, all unranked, mostly losses. So there you go. That's what I got going on.
So you're a big monkey fan, as we were saying, a big gorilla fan. in
I
general?
love all sorts of primates.
Sasquatch.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh,
Hey man, hominins,
hominins.
we got it.
Now, how do you feel about the '90s and like late '80s? They had all like the Dunstan, monkey movies.
As a child, I literally went ape for all of those movies.
Really?
Dunstan check-ins. I want to say one of them was called Going Ape. I think that was the one where it's like Danny DeVito is like this like circus guy, and he
This
has
is
these
amazing.
apes, and Tony Danza is taking care of the apes for them. There's like an orangutan and 2 chimps or something like that. You know what I'm talking about, Paul? You know this movie? No. Oh,
No,
I thought you were.
no,
I
don't
thought
know.
I just saw you nodding.
What about
no, he's
I
dropping
don't know
donuts
at
all
all.
what was
over
that
the floor.
movie about the the photographer that goes and lives with the gorillas?
Jane Goodall? No.
No, this
Yeah.
is a real story on like a person.
Jane
who-
Goodall is
mean,
a
Jane
real.
Goodall
Oh,
is
really?
a real
I thought you were
person.
talking about like the Tarzan character. I didn't know that was like
No,
a
that's
real...
Jane. That's just straight
That's
Jane.
just
I
straight
think.
Jane.
Yeah.
Reggie Jane.
What are the odds
I guess
of that?
I'm not informed enough.
Yeah, yeah.
but
What is
I remember
the odds
watching
of that? Is Jane from Tarzan related to Jane Goodall? Are they like
No,
they-
Jane
to check
Jane
the
Goodall
timeline
is a
of that.
lot more contemporary. Honestly, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head when Jane Goodall did her research, but I'm pretty sure she's like still alive. And
She definitely
Tarzan
is,
is
yeah.
like early 20th century. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, Tarzan's old as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, early
Yeah, like
20th century.
1930s
We're
or
the
something, right?
21st
20s,
century.
30s.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude, I'm living in the past.
Right.
Gorillas in the Mist is the movie I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Gorillas in the Mist. Yeah.
Great,
Great
song
movie.
too.
Other movie, Congo. Loved Congo as a child.
Congo is cool.
What was
Any movie, doesn't matter the
Outbreak?
genre. You put a ape in a movie, I
And you're
went
into
fucking
it.
nuts for it.
How'd you feel about Outbreak?
I don't
What's
know if I
Outbreak?
remember that one.
The one about the monkey virus.
Yeah, but are there really monkeys in it?
Yeah, the chimp.
Oh, dude, now we're getting into
don't
real
remember that
animal
one.
liberation.
I
movies.
do- There's another movie that I used to love,
animal products.
Monkey
okay,
Shines.
good. I thought you were gonna
Does
stop
anybody
right
know
after
Monkey
animals.
Shines?
No.
Oh yes.
The guy,
Wait.
he's like a quadriplegic, and
Oh,
he
no,
has
I'm
like a
thinking about-
little capuchin monkey as like a service animal, and it just keeps trying to kill him. It's a horror movie.
What?
It just
the
like
fuck?
wraps saran wrap around his face. It's just like this quadriplegic guy who's just like,
Yeah, I think they made a Malcolm in the Middle episode like making fun of that.
did they?
Yeah, where Hal. No, not
so
Hal.
dark.
That
Who's
you know
the,
what that I think I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
who's
Hal.
no, not Hal, but who's the guy who Lois
Craig.
works with? Craig
Craig.
has a monkey.
Craig has
and
the
I
service
think
monkey. Yep.
Yeah, the monkey is trying to kill Craig. Dude, I love Craig. He's the best Malcolm in the Middle
Dude,
character.
Malcolm in the Middle slaps.
It's the
Low
best.
key great.
It's
My mom
so
loved
good.
that show.
It's very good.
Rewatch it.
Paul, you ready to get real interviewed right now? Because
ready
we
to get
got
personal?
we have to interview you. We have to bring it all full circle. Oh, he's dumping water all over his face. This is real Super Bowl hours here. The big game. Sorry, I don't want to get sued. right? Is that what you get sued for saying the Super Bowl?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now I'm going to get slapped with a DCMA or whatever because I said Super Bowl. Anyways, yeah, Phil. Phil, thank you for bringing us back after that, after the sitcom deep dive that we've gone in. Now, what did you guys want to ask Paul? Like the official interview, the official questions for brother Paul, for Mordheim Paul.
Paul, when did you first play Mordheim?
Yeah, take us back.
All right, so I was just a young man. I was probably about to be a freshman in high school, and we were at the mall. Me and Pat Dean, actually.
Oh, shit.
Sweet
Yep.
Dean.
Yeah,
Classic.
so me and Dean have been together
Yeah.
a long time. So we were at the mall, and we walked into Games Workshop. I don't remember which mall it was, but the guy who, so you know what those guys are like. They're like used car salesmen in those places.
God,
I mean, I don't know if a lot of people have been to those stores that are in the hobby, but that's what they're like. They're like crazy pushy salesmen. So the guy comes out, and he's actually still around. It's the guy Ken from the Portal. From the
Time Machine.
Time Machine, yeah, from Time Machine Hobby. I saw him and I was like, dude, that's the guy.
And dude, he looks the same.
Yeah, he looks the same, sounds the same, and it's like, so I told him, I was like, hey, you're the guy that ran us through our first game of Mordheim. He's like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, awesome.
Actually, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So he shows us the game, and he's like, because we had played bought. I shouldn't say we played 40K, but we had been having our parents buy us some 40K models for a couple years at that point. And so then he shows us this new game. We're like, whoa, this is amazing. And then the box set at the time was only like $120 or something like that, maybe less. And so we just split that, and then we kind of been playing it ever since. We played a bunch like right in the beginning, and then we wouldn't play it for like 5 years, and then we would get together for like every other weekend for like 2 or 3 weeks of sessions, and play a little bit, and then here and there sporadically, and then we went a long time without playing. And then in 2017, when Kill Team came back out, we were playing that. We all got back into the hobby, bought a bunch of stuff, and then we were kind of like, we should probably play Mordheim. First, we were like, we're never going to play Mordheim again, right? Because we're playing this new game now, this new thing. And then after a while, we're just like, nah, we're going back, And then we just happened to be playing, and then Terry had texted me about it. Or not, I don't know if you had texted me about Mordheim or something about tabletop, because I saw, because you had sent me stuff
pictures,
like orcs and stuff like that, and pictures, and it was when I bought like Stonejaw shirts. There was like orcs inside too, and everything, and it was like it's pretty cool. So then that's how I met all the rest of you guys. Is the straw that stirs the drink, Mr. Terry, came over one day. He saw it, and he was like, "Yeah, I know the guys for this," and that's how it happened. That's where we're at now. But yeah, been there since the beginning.
I have one question about this. Now, what? Oh, sorry. You and Pat have, I feel like your warbands look ancient.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. I'm just saying you like Pat's humans look like he's had them since day one.
Yes.
Has his list deterred from that? Is it like the Stillmania method of you build that list and I'm never fucking changing it?
Wow, that's a good. No, I would say I'm inclined to say yes. I like to rip on him like that, but because he is a man of steady habits. But but it's not, because he has fluctuated. He's gone like Marienburg. Sometimes he goes Middenheim. He does go back and
So
forth.
it's not like you guys.
They are the original models.
Yeah.
for sure.
His paint job is original too. Because remember, he was asking us if he should paint over it, and we were like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No,
Good,
if anything, you touch it up. Like if anything's chipped, that's about it. Now, so it's not an ongoing campaign that you guys have like day one. It's the same campaign forever. That's not. what
No,
you guys do.
I wish I could say that, but we were always like losing the list, or we would go so long without it. The rule book Pat still has the original, and once you pick up that black book, it's for life. So I don't know how anybody could walk away from it. It's so cool, and like we were saying before, like the aesthetic in there is like unbelievable.
Totally.
Totally
And the
sticks
art,
with you.
I mean, the art in that book, in the black book, is amazing.
It really is.
If they went away from that, not going back to the new game idea, but if they went away from that original art, it would be blasphemy.
Yeah. What warbands came in that box set?
It was Human Mercenaries, and with like an additional accessory sprue, and then Skaven Night Runner models, like the
Oh, shit.
monkey looking Skavens.
Yeah, the little
with
ninja guys.
Yep. Yeah, with another,
Plan
and I
action.
think they get another. They had an additional sprue too, but yeah, human mercenaries and
And
skate.
now
awesome.
your warband though has changed, right? You've done some like 3D printed models in your warband and stuff, right? Am I mistaken? Or maybe that's your Beastman.
The Beastmen, yeah, the
Yeah.
Beastmen have it's not a 3D print. It's actually a casted resin model.
cool.
That Minotaur is. I think it's
Badass.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the company it came from, unfortunately, but it was a 3-pack of Minotaurs, and you can see it on my Instagram. They're
Is that the
pretty
one
sick.
that it's like Red Wolf or whatever? That
No, Red Box. That might have been what you were
Red
thinking
Box,
of earlier. Somebody sent me a whole bunch of those models, and they're incredibly detailed, like
Yeah.
resin humans and barbarians and stuff like that, but a little bit more like 25 millimeter or true
Yeah.
like 28 millimeter scale. So they don't look, I mean, at least in my head, they don't really look perfectly like passable right next to like humans from Mordheim or like, at GW stuff.
when did you start the board? Because like I mean,
That's what hooked me on it when we went to your
yeah,
house.
like it's like that board
Yeah.
looks like you've been building it forever, but a lot of it is like 3D printed too on there.
Yeah, so like a lot of it was like printable sceneries, 3D printable stuff, and that like really, I made a couple houses with the Eric's Hobby stuff,
Yeah.
and then that got me started. And I was like, wait a minute, like for the amount of time I'm putting in this, I can just like probably set the printer up, and if it takes 100 hours to print a building, who cares?
Yeah.
So that build, I think I started that in like 2019, like right before the pandemic, or like right when the pandemic was starting, because me and Pat were like at the hobby shop playing a game like the night before like COVID madness started.
Oh,
it was like crazy. Yeah, it was like we met up with like all these guys that play like Epic and all the smaller scale.
Oh, shit,
like,
really?
Mass games, yeah,
Cool.
War Master and stuff. Yeah, that was a big eye opener too about like how deep the hobby can go.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're playing this dead game, and then there's these guys playing all these other dead games.
Was this at Portal? Because I know they have
Yeah,
like
Portal,
guys that
yep.
play Epic.
Really, they do.
Yeah,
They-
there's
and
a
they
whole,
have a lot,
There's a whole
yeah.
group of these guys.
That'd be
There's-
cool.
Yeah, so like I'm on their email list, and it's like they just talk shit to each other all day long, all week long. There's like got to be like 40, 50 of them.
Holy shit!
Adeptus and Eptus, they're called.
No freaking way.
Yeah,
Really?
and, dude, and super nice guys. So like, we're over there doing our thing.
Yeah.
And then everybody's talking, throughout the day. And so these guys come like, "Whoa, you're playing Mordheim? We haven't seen that in forever." This and that. So it was cool.
As they're
They all
playing
know the deal.
even older games.
Yeah.
right.
Even
Yeah.
more dead of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
So did you get into 3D printing because of?
Yeah,
Mordheim?
strictly
Yeah?
because of Mordheim.
Just
yeah.
gonna ask
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have 2 of those FDM printers, right? Is that what they're called?
Right. I
FDM
started out with an
printers?
Ender 3 because that was like a decent price point for like for that level of technology.
Yeah.
And they just come out with a newer model that made a couple things easier than the other ones. And then I used Ender 3, and then I have another one that's a Voxelab Aquila S1 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much like a clone of the Ender 3, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Like the Ender 3 is a clone of something else, like some like real deal, like industrial one, I think, or something. And then this thing's a clone of that. But that one actually, like right out of the box, I had to do some kind of firmware flash on it because I heard it doesn't have like thermal runaway protection. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna be printing these things like 24/7. If I kill my whole family and burn my house down because of this
Jesus.
fucking game, I'm gonna
Yeah.
really have a hard time going forward. So I was like, let me make them as safe as possible,
Yeah.
And but other than that, like, dude, it's unbelievable. The Voxelab was $120 on Amazon, like on sale. So
Wow.
it's like the barrier to entry is super low, but
Oh,
I have wasted a lot of time like troubleshooting and tinkering with these things
Yeah.
too. So it's not super
It's definitely
easy.
a labor of love with an
Yeah.
FDM printer.
Dude, mine I don't know what happened to it, but it got clogged and like the whole piece literally just came off.
Oh
where
yeah,
the
I've done that a
nozzle was.
few times.
And I'm just like, I don't know how to fix this, and I don't want to look into how to fix it right now. So
Yeah.
that's gonna sit on a shelf.
Yep.
I stepped on it the other day by accident, and
Oh.
I was just like, this is definitely never gonna work again.
You
Oh, dude,
haven't
I-
had much success with 3D printing, have you?
No, but that was BS.
Oh.
The
I felt so bad for
the
you when I
Any
saw
Cubic
that.
I bought,
Yeah, yeah,
that thing
yeah.
was busted out the gate. But this one worked great out of the box. The Cobra, right?
Yep.
The-
Any cubic cobra.
Yeah, that thing worked great. And then after I moved it, I leveled it like 3 times to make sure it worked, and then I set it to go. It seemed good, and it got flooded, and now I gotta change some parts out, and I don't know how. So it sits on my floor in my hobby room.
Yeah.
Until you need to use it, and you'll fix it.
Well, no, I do need to use it. I need to use it right now,
Yeah.
and
Oh, no.
I don't have the time to put into fixing it.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows how to fix an Anycubic like nozzle setup, let me know.
Yeah, you just put it in some ice acetone and just let
Yeah.
it sit there.
Turn it off and turn it on again, bro.
Yeah, come on, bro.
So true.
But so this board, it's a 4x4 board that you started, Paul.
Yeah, I started with a 4x4 board. Yep. And
I mean,
then,
that thing's got so many levels. It's got so much detail.
Yeah, it was a lot of like building it up and experimenting out which way I was gonna go, and then like when I watched that Prominence video, like using some of those techniques, and then it was like I've kind of like changed the way I'm going. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna 3D print, do this and that. Then I'm like, then I make a little street or something. I'm like, oh, I want to go this way now, and like. So a little bit of indecisiveness and learning, like through making that board and putting that together.
Learning your method. Because
Yeah.
I think you're fine tuning like your craft with it, especially with all the new boards. Like just figuring
I
out
would
what
agree,
you like
yeah.
and what you do.
That's true.
Because if you build that board now, I don't think you would do half of the stuff that you did.
Right.
on there.
It's almost like each tile is a different board, or a
Yeah.
different like
Yeah.
something else completely, or like another like phase of like learning, I guess you would say.
But now, once all these Nemo boards are done and you go back to your big 4x4, like your big board that you've been working on, do you think you will have an easier time just kind of blasting through it? Like, you think you'll have
100%.
learned a ton from shaving coconuts in your garage to be able to blast through this big board?
Definitely.
I almost think that I would expect you to almost build a whole new one.
I was thinking about that, but then I was also thinking about like, I got a shelf in my shed and a loft over there where I'm going to stick like a lot of the stuff that doesn't end up at Steve's house, but I'm going to try and dump as much as I can on Steve after the event.
Yeah, agreed.
But I kind of, so I don't know, like, am I going to start a board from scratch, or am I going to take one of these boards that's like already 3/4 of the way there, and do I start going on this? You know what I mean? And building on that.
The
You know,
Wizard
so we'll
Tower
see.
panel is like,
Yeah. There's a lot of cool parts of that big board.
Yeah,
I feel like
and
you
like,
have to.
yeah, you wouldn't even think so because that thing is like so way up in the air, but it's like, I don't know, like when me and Pat were playing on there, it's like I started with my shaman up there and he's blasting spells from the top. Pat's going after him with like this wolf priest of Ulrich and a huge ass like whatever that wolf is that he runs with, right? He's coming at him, and then like I knock him off the tower, and he finally gets to the top, and then like as you get stronger and stronger, you could like fly around the board and shit. So it's cool, yeah.
I think
that
you gotta
panel
keep
is
going.
really sweet.
Because that thing is going to be done, like the whole thing is going to be finished one day, and it's going to look like beautiful. Once you get to the painting part and you're able to like make it all look super cohesive and sprinkle enough terrain so that way everything looks like it's part of the same environment, like you won't even notice that like the boards are kind of different in a way.
That's
all
true.
blend.
Like actually taking the project over the finish line instead of right up to it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was working on, because I took the boards to my house. They're at my house right now, and I took the graveyard panel and it's finished. I mean, it's as finished as it's gonna get for now. I mean, I zenithalled it and everything, so
that's
like
really cool.
that panel's ready to go. It's just the rest of them kind of like getting them all together, because right now they don't really mesh too well together as is, but like standalone tiles, they're very cool.
Right. So that exactly. So that board had like two, like the terraforming was done on like half of it, and the other half was kind of just like blank, with just some roll. Like I just rolled stuff on it, and so Steve took the graveyard side of it and took that like right to the edge, So it's like, I'm probably gonna finish that one, but then it's like I want to take these Nemo boards too and start tweaking these, building these up, so that every year, or as we get together. We'll have options and that kind of thing.
Totally. Now, no shame here, but have you written any like lore for your warbands?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you
I
were,
thought, I like, I'm driving like all day and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, what is my story behind this guy? But no, I didn't really like had a itch to write or like that much of a focus to write anything down, I guess you would say.
I feel like the best way to do that is when you are driving and stuff. Like I just
You
have
gotta do voice notes on your phone.
Yeah, that's what I do.
100%. I was just gonna say, just like there's apps where you could just have like you could just talk right into it, and
Dude, the
will
new iPhone update has it.
Oh, really?
You just do it.
Talk to text, baby.
Yeah, talk to text.
In like the Notes app, you could do that.
Yeah.
Your keyboard does it. You just hit the keyboard voice button in it.
Wow, we truly are living in the future right now.
That's it.
I can be writing notes.
You could get it
on
on your watch, and it'll do it right to your phone.
See, I got this Casio F91W. You know what I mean?
Nice, bro.
This is the real shit.
You could say it's the bomb.
Oh, dude, you are like one of the only people who know that little factoid about this watch. And I always tell people, they're like, "What are you talking about?" But yeah, they train the bomb makers in the Middle East how to use these for timers.
That's so cool.
Because they're so
Detonator the
cheap.
bomb.
That just made me think. You sent me that Instagram page of the guy who makes all those crazy weapons.
Oh,
I was looking
yeah.
at his stories the other day. I'm like, where did this come from? And I'm like, oh, Paul sent this to me. Like homemade punch blades and like
What?
guys who like handcraft switchblades like out of like pieces of sheet metal. Like,
Backyard foundries.
Just
yeah,
real Fallout,
Yeah.
New Vegas, just gun bench kind of vibes.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
I'm not really that guy, but like,
Yeah.
you know, it's really cool to see. You know.
No, and I like the scrapyard kind of vibes to those. There was a time when I was in college, I wanted to make these art projects that were just like essentially kit bashed weapons, you know, that just like look like weird post-apocalyptic, but slapping random things together to make like full size looking
a trash
weapons.
can lid with like nails through it on a
Totally,
board.
like
Yeah.
shit like that. I just thought would be so cool, just like hung up in a gallery space, just like a spike bat.
I want to
plus,
just do
like,
that in my garage now.
Yeah.
Just like have
Yeah.
them all over.
Oh
Sure,
yeah,
yeah.
We'll do some LARPing and just like
Kill
we
each
should
other.
Just do some post-apocalyptic LARPing. What's your boy?
Yo,
your rap
yeah. Your cowboy LARP.
Oh, your cowboy.
You ain't going to that with Matt?
No. I don't
What
know
about,
what the fuck you're talking about?
What about the day in the desert or whatever where you eat rats?
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Well, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah.
Wasteland Weekend.
Wasteland
What the
Weekend.
fuck is that?
It's more than a LARP. It's people like literally Mad Max it out.
Is this the airsoft thing? Because I've seen the airsoft
no,
one.
it's
and
a
that's
whole. It's a whole. Well, it's a week. Like people build a fucking like scrapyard fortress in the middle of the desert, and then they go out there living life like it's Fallout or like Mad Max.
Let's go.
Well, the thing is, it's so in character, but like not. It's not like people aren't really acting; they're just living.
You're just a person in the fucking desert trying to survive.
But like, dude, it was sent to me by my friend who went, and he's just saying like, he's like, yeah, I ate a rat this weekend, and I was like, what? And then looking at the pictures online, they have it on the website. The people are just roasting rats over like fire.
How'd you even find the rat? You're in a desert.
Well, you got to go to Petco before you.
Yeah, you gotta
out
go.
the
You gotta
desert.
stock up at
I would
Petco. And
you don't just buy hot dogs and drive out in the desert with them?
no, dude, they're
This isn't
serious.
Nemo 23. Listen.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, my bad.
Oh, maybe you have rats though at Nemo.
There's definitely
Oh,
a
dude.
rat or two down there.
Well, yeah, we got to catch them. We got to cook them up.
Skaven are overflowing the canals down there.
Now, before we get too carried away on Wasteland Weekend here, any other questions for the boy Paul? I mean, we asked him a lot before too, but I wanted to ask him some official interview questions. You know,
I mean, I'm not going to answer it, but I would like you to answer it. Is what made you want to do Nemo? Like, I know I kind of brought it to you after doing like Under the Dice Day and all that stuff. Like, I wanted to do something, but like, what made you be like, yes, I want to do this?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I thought about it a lot. Like, so it was definitely really influenced by like when you guys started coming over, and me and Pat have had this for a long time, but you know, we like grew together, like in, you know, everything we learned like with each other about it. So then when you guys came over, I was like starting to get more amped up about like gaming on the tabletop, because it's way more rewarding for me personally than like playing video games or things like that. So then when I went to Steve Fest there, the charity chiller, I was like, I left there like so pumped up after meeting all like the road crew and everything, and like the stuff I started making at home, I was like, dude, like the thing I made for Secret Santa was like such a departure from like all the modeling stuff I'd done so far. So I was like, all right, I feel like I'm so jazzed up, and I'm feeling like really good after doing that event that I rode that for like months. So it's like, and then I saw the thing after what Bill did down in Texas, and I was like, all right, you know, I know that like I can deliver what I need to do, and Steve has all this experience with that. I was like, and then you guys all just jumped in too. So it's like, I was like, I can definitely like bring that feeling to more people. So that was really what it was all about. That's what made me want to do it.
I think that's exactly like the reason I've always like pushed to do like events and like all this whatever is like getting together and doing something with people who are like-minded and enjoy the same things you do is like the best feeling. Like
Ultimate payoff.
literally,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I
definitely.
could care less if I spent $500 out of my pocket, like organizing some bullshit. But if everyone comes and has fun and like, it's like a thing that they're gonna remember, I'm like, that's all I care about.
Right, right. The only barrier to entry to come into our thing is you have to paint, you know, come fully painted and bring $5. That's why
It's already paid for. You already paid.
Right. So it's like, you know, yeah, that's exactly. We're trying to like reduce the barrier to entry and make it as low as possible. And then, you know, like we're going to meet so many people that weekend, or that, you know, that we're going to it's just going to be better for us. The experience for us going forward is going to be so much better. And like, then again, like to go back to like the redesigning Mordheim thing, it's like, it doesn't matter. They can't like. There's nothing they could do to Mordheim anymore. Like we're safe from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I would just hate for a new player to like have like kind of GW's like bumpers or like guardrails on them. You know what I mean? And like, it's like, dude, you just one book. You don't even need the book anymore.
Yeah.
Here's
but
a
definitely
reference
find
sheet.
it. Yeah. Right. Like, some guy also made a website too. I don't want to forget that. It's Mordheimer, which was like an old blog and like scenario guy from back in the day. But this is a new guy who made like a Mordheimer website that has a searchable online rule book. So it's a little bit more like on the fly than searching the PDF.
Oh,
yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was-
I'm always
it was really
Control
cool.
F in the PDF off Broheim.
Right.
Yeah, definitely bring your rule books if you
Yeah.
don't have one. We'll have a couple there the day, but
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we'll share
don't
them
count
up,
on
too,
that,
if
though.
we have.
yeah, don't count
print-
on it.
definitely
Don't
print
count
one.
on it. Bring your dice, bring your rulers. Like,
Yeah.
So along with that, is there anything? Like, I know we got a little list of stuff that is on the website people need to bring. Is there anything you want to say to the people coming to the event? Any feelings you want to give out? What the vibe should be, or what?
Yeah, I would say, just come like, ready to have a good time. You know what I mean? And think about it like you're not going, you're going there to meet people, other like-minded like hobbyists, and get good games in that way. And then like pretty much just admire and celebrate the game and what it is, and how cool it can be.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Couldn't have said it better.
I'll say, even going back a second for what you were saying about just running the event, just to run that sense of community with everyone, even setting it up. I mean, I've definitely done the least between the three of us for it. It's definitely your two babies, but the dude, like even reaching out to Knucklebones and being like, hey, can we use some of your stuff for a sponsor? And him being like, you know what, I'm gonna give a sculpt for you guys and you can have it, and it's specific for the event. Insane.
Like the support from other
Just
people seeing
Literally,
you
like the
do
PAX
something.
Acrylic like model, like just like that alone is setting up the community before the event even started.
For sure.
People mailing warbands for prizes.
Yeah, we have prize support in the form of like, I mean, we're gonna pick up some prize support boxes, but there's like custom warbands sent in, fully painted, that we're gonna be giving those away. There's a couple of those. We have like custom, like hired bounty hunters models, like just done by really talented artists that
super
people
cool.
sent them in just to be involved in some way, like. That was the whole idea behind the boards, was like, bring a board, you get in free if you can bring a board, but like ultimately it's about you doing something cool and just participating, because like this isn't just like one man show, this is like the community. Like without the people coming and playing, like the day doesn't really exist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise we might as well just play at Paul's house.
Yeah.
Right,
Like-
right.
Yeah, all 64 people come to Paul's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul's basement, Sniper Town.
I used to know a
Oh,
tent and table guy, but not anymore. He's out. Another thing I want to mention too is like, make it easier like on yourself when you're coming to play too. Like I remember like Magic tournaments and shit. It was like super exhausting to like be there and play those games. So like you can definitely like make a little bit of preparation. Like look at like the skills that are available for your warband. And what direction you want to go with the warband after like 2 or 3 games, so that way you're not like thinking about it on the fly, and like everybody's over there chilling and talking, and you're trying to read the descriptions of the skills
Pre-planned.
for the first times, and that'll like really put a damper on your day. So
Yeah.
I would say definitely make it easy on yourself and keep it casual, and you'll be cool.
Definitely pre-planned. Bring your roster sheet, bring your book. We'll have some reference sheets. Like I definitely recommend printing out those the Broheim reference sheets. Those things are huge. Like you can play a whole game with just that.
Agreed. Yeah, and then all the resources on Broheim are really going to help you out a lot. That, like you said, the ultimate reference sheet is what we've been playing the game forever and we know how to play. But it's like you just looking through that in one hand it makes the game like so much easier and more fun.
Totally.
Yeah. Some things I just want to say out loud, just because I know I posted it in the website and on the forum and all that, but disagreements, any issues that you and your opponent can't come to an agreement, just roll a dice. It's all for fun.
Right. There's
Like,
no
we're-
judge program here.
Yeah. We're not going to come spectate your game or be rules lawyers or like.
I will.
I mean, they can call Phil's the official rule lawyer. You need a rule settled on, you yell Phil
All
at the event.
64 people.
Yep.
are gonna
Yeah, I
be
think we'll go
yelling
that
your
way.
name.
Yeah, Phil's the judge.
Yeah.
He'll carry around the rule book and he'll be your reference.
I don't need a rule book.
So yeah, just come with the spirit of the event. We'll have some food there. The bar will be open, so we'll be chilling all day. Vendors, we're gonna have a bunch of vendors. Vendor hall will be there.
Oh, okay.
Bring your if you want to set up if you got a bunch of old stuff to sell, bring it
Yes.
because I will buy it. We have a $10 table fee. You can set up your whole flea market of your old crap, and people will buy it.
Right,
I mean,
yeah,
that
don't be shy
seems-
about that.
Books,
Definitely. We have the
anything.
space for all that
I
stuff.
might even do that.
Can we-
Honestly,
can we leak-
I'm sure I have stuff.
Can we leak any of the vendors yet?
Yeah. I know you know some of them.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have the comprehensive list. I
I
know.
mean,
I
it's-
know. Pixel Keeper.
Yeah,
Keeper
Pixel
Kev.
Keeper.
Pixel
We have
Keeper
mentioned
Kev.
him before.
Yep.
I did just actually write down a list. So vendors as of right now, Pixel Keeper Kev, Knotted Swords selling art, Annalise,
Yeah, dude, I saw that. That's gonna be sick.
Crawler Club, Eric. He makes crazy stuff like wall hanging. Like I don't know, I can't think of the word, but like he'll make like this crazy eyeball spider, and it has a bunch of spider legs. And all the legs move and shit.
What?
And, like, it's so cool. He makes the craziest shit. And he has like toys now, like this eyeball. It's like a beholder, but it's an eyeball.
Oh fuck! Did you ever hit up Grimdark 9?
Yeah, I did. I've emailed him a couple
Okay,
times.
okay.
He's on the list.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
hell
said he
yeah.
was interested. I haven't heard back. I emailed him today just to touch base.
Great guy though.
Grimdark 9 is supposed to be there with his RPGs, all his toys
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. Like his content's awesome. We also got Craft Fair Games coming through. Someone called Special K Games. I don't know who they are, but
Yeah.
they're going to be there with their models and games. And then someone with the name Mini Minions Maker, and they sell models. I don't know if they sculpt them themselves or what the deal is,
Maybe
but
they listened to that Minions part of our episode, and they just kind of got the
dude.
different idea of what our podcast is about.
it's just minions as miniatures.
I'll buy the whole
I would
Minions.
I would run that army.
Dude, be boop or whatever. Bada boop.
Oh my god!
Be dude.
Yeah, if you want a table, if you want to sell your old stuff, get in contact. There's room, or just bring a day of. Like throw me a couple bucks, I'll give you a 8x4 table.
Hell yeah. Now, before Phil actually somebody came in with a late question. That would be a good question to end us off.
Yeah, I was being a fantastic podcaster and looking at my phone while other people were talking. And
Don't read it yet though, because I want to see. Does Paul have anything else you want to say? Like anybody you want to shout out that you haven't shouted out? Anybody who has been like a huge help to you or an inspiration to you that you still want to call out before we give this last question to kind of close us off?
Okay. No, I think everybody I mentioned earlier was really good.
Yeah.
Really important for it. And then obviously Bill Ford, Paragon of the community,
Yeah.
doing his thing down in Houston was very inspirational too. And then obviously Ryan Painter has been huge huge help for us all.
Friend of the pod.
You know,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good.
we're gonna break through him. You know what I mean?
He's playing.
He's gonna
Yeah.
be.
He's playing.
Yeah,
Battle Tech's
he'll
the
be hanging.
stepping
Battle
stone,
Tech's
dude.
yeah, definitely that's the way. And then I just thank my wife for putting up with it all. You know what I mean? And my brother too. I got to shout out my brother because I was able to free up the garage, thanks to him. So he gave me a place to store my car. So like now I got so
Oh,
much
hell
room
yeah.
to spread everything out, and that is making everything so much easier. And then her putting up with that,
Yeah.
and like getting the kids out of the house so we can all come flying in.
We
It's
came
been
through
really
last
cool.
weekend, and 4 rooms were taken up by
my
everyone.
yeah.
Hey, we
It's
didn't even
pretty
get
cool.
a chance to punish you about classic cars.
I know. There's gonna be a
about-
whole
Yeah.
other app on.
I just want to shout out Wire Brothers. Wire.
Oh.
Sorry, Wire Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot about
We've
that.
already
They're
talked
super
28 Mag,
supportive
too.
of everything. They're
Yeah.
coming out. They're flying out, or I imagine
Oh,
they're
hell
driving.
yeah.
But they said they're on their way out here for the event. So
That's really cool.
Those
Yeah.
guys have been
Amazing.
like a major like part
I-
two
yeah.
of like my like hobby journey too. Like I
Yeah.
found that podcast earlier, and I was like, that name like stuck out to me because it was like a band name. Like between the
Yeah.
Bolter and me, it
Yeah.
was like reminded me of something I listened to.
between
when
the Barry to me.
I couldn't tell you a song, but it stuck out anyways. But they were like they're like really good curators of a ton of content.
Oh, absolutely. And you
so
had
that's
already
helpful.
mentioned 28 Magazine.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we got to get a Hive Scum Dragnet Turbo Lasers hardstyle pick.
I mean, they're just like such good shepherds of this community.
100%.
Totally.
And they're all so nice and welcoming. Like,
Yeah.
you message them, they'll chat with you.
Totally.
Good
And they're always
dudes.
talking on the Discord, which if you haven't joined the In Rust We Trust Discord, shame on you. Also, how are you finding this podcast?
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you? How did you get in touch? But yeah, they've been fantastic, and I'm excited that they're coming down now.
Yeah.
Or coming up. Where are they from?
I think Michigan.
Oh, Michigan, coming over.
I thought it was Maryland.
Oh, maybe it is Maryland.
Yeah, those are right next
Starts
to
with
each
a
other.
Coming up
so.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
some
are.
nice mid-Atlantic boys.
Yeah, for sure.
Real
So-
PNW.
Anything else, Paul? Before we jump into this next question.
I probably had more, but I think I forgot everything. I should have wrote it down during the week. I'm in the truck driving all the time, and I'm thinking about like shit I want to say, and now I can't remember it.
Now-
Voice notes.
Yeah, voice notes.
We don't have enough time to talk about all the cars that you've owned in your life and you've worked on in your life and you've been around in your life, but
Sure.
favorite car that you either owned or just like a dream car in general, or both?
Okay. I would say like favorite one I've owned is definitely the 51 Chevy Bel Air that I have now. I think this one might be like in like stark contrast to the rest of my life and how I've lived up until this moment. I think I'm gonna keep this one for a long time and just take this one all the way.
Drive it
But,
to Nemo.
Yes.
Roll down the hill. Nah, it'd take a long time. Take a long time to get to Chicopee. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with the 51 Chevy Bel Air.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a 50s mild custom kind of guy. You know.
And at JDM cars, you would do 240.
Yeah, definitely. I had a Sylvia probably.
Dude.
You know, that's
No,
the one I like with
S14.
the I like the S13.
I actually
That's the
know
way I'm
someone
at.
who has an S13 in a garage that is not running, but
Oh yeah,
you probably talk
probably
them
worth a
into
lot of
something.
money. Yeah,
Yeah, I bet
they're,
you.
they're all like
condition.
rusted out or crashed. You
Yeah.
know.
I bet you more than a few Sylvias are sitting in garages not being touched too.
Yeah, I had a coupe, man. It was I loved the car. It was awesome. It had like the heads up display, digital heads up display, like little holographic patch that it would like
fresh.
blow up on. It was so cool. And then somebody backed into it and you know, it was still drivable, but I was just like I kept looking. I was like, fuck this car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then got rid of it.
That's actually tragic.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't know. That's kind of how I am like with cars. It's like, you know, once I have them for too long, I start beating on them, and it's like, all right, it's time to move on to something else, like baby it again.
Yeah.
But then like, yeah, sometimes like, you know, something will really just piss you off, and you just blow it out. You know, you get rid of
Yeah.
this thing. Yeah, you know, somebody will buy it.
We do have another question about
Uh-oh.
Nemo. We just
Okay.
because we never looked at our question sheet.
Yeah.
I don't know
Is
if
it the
we
one
want-
that I was just about to read? The
Is
very
it
last post?
No, I think he's.
No,
this
you're-
is from before.
I'm looking at
Oh,
this.
okay.
I think we kind of already talked about it, but if you have a personal opinion on this, what's been the most challenging part of putting together
Yeah,
Nemo
yeah.
from
Oh,
friend
okay.
of the pod Seb?
All right.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably like besides like just the amount of like work that needs to go into the terrain, because like you pretty much handled all the administrative stuff for the most part, you know, so that was like easy for me. So just that, and then like I guess like managing, you know, you don't want to let anybody down when people are coming to come and hang out, you know what I mean? It's like, so I'm just like really just battling in your own head and staying motivated so that you deliver, you know, you want to just deliver a nice product to the people that are coming out there.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest
You know,
headache for
yeah.
me. Is like same thing, Like,
Dude, it's
you don't wanna disappoint
$5.
People.
You show up, we'll give you a high five. That's all you paid for.
Yeah.
But like
Right, yeah. Like if I
money,
see,
money on the table, people act a fool. Like,
I know. Plus, it's just like it's gonna feel good when it comes together. You know, like you guys will have like this. It'll be awesome when it all comes together and it's set up and it's game day and you have 64 people playing. Like
Think about that
that's
dude's
what you
mom
want
coming
to.
in from next door from the bar.
Oh my
the
God.
heckler,
The heckler.
the lady from last year from the
Oh,
charity.
yeah,
from
the lady
Seafest,
who
remember?
runs the.
Yeah, she
the-
runs the hall.
What
Kept
did she
calling us
say?
nerds. We had 30 Magic players, and she's
That's
like,
She's
cool.
Think about how she's gonna react when she sees Nemo.
She's
Yeah,
gotta
she's gonna
open
roast
up.
all you losers.
She's gotta open up the bar window though too.
What are you doing in there?
Yeah. Nerds.
given something like the out, you know, like all those subgroups that like cross over in this game, you know, this kind of a thing too. It's in like the different uniforms that are going to be there are going to be like,
Yes.
people are gonna be like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are these guys? You know?
Yeah.
dude, the gas stations nearby are going to just wonder what's happening.
Dude, yeah. I know, right?
What cult just rolled into town?
I want to know, like, how many people do you think are gonna try walking to that Shell gas station down the street before they get like a quarter of the way and they're like, I'm not.
We're going to have to
walk.
pay off like
Is
one
it,
of the...
Is it like really far?
It's not really far. It's like very close. It's just like the sketchiest area of
Oh.
Chicopee.
That's what I'm
Remember that
saying.
guy? Yeah, the charity chiller. Some guy
Travel
was
in a
pulling the
group.
motor out of something like underneath the chain. He had a chain fall on the tree next to the shell. I saw that.
That's amazing.
We're going to have to pay off a crew nearby to like watch out for... Like, just don't fuck with the
Listen,
people.
we'll have snacks and drinks available there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really have to leave.
Yeah.
I still have a case of Monster Energy that
Oh, good.
I'm just waiting to get rid of.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Everybody loves Monster. Gage loves big Monster
Nope.
Energy drink. Fan.
Negative.
Yeah, so that's probably is that the toughest thing though? Is just like that build up, that kind of.
Yeah, I guess the anticipation of it. Yeah.
All right, Phil, dude, read this question. Lead us
Yeah,
out. This
all
is a
right.
good. This is a good ender question.
Yeah,
It
it's a
kinda
good,
just-
good, fun question. So, Hobby Dungeon Andrew from the Discord asks, "What is the most creative hobby technique you've ever used? Like, what weird non-hobby thing did you find a way to work into a project?
weird non-hobby thing.
Like a non-hobby
Does he have an-
skill?
Is there an
or-
example?
Ooh, a non-hobby skill.
No.
Skill or like material or like.
I mean, I'm sure any answer.
Can you ask him
Yeah.
for an example?
You think he's gonna respond?
he might.
We'll
We'll
be
be
fine. Yeah, we'll figure this out.
I would say.
non-hobby related.
I would say I definitely want to have a more serious answer, but the first thing that comes to mind is the fucking baby heads that have just kind of worked their way into everything we've been doing. I've been mailing them out to people when they like buy a shirt or something. Just mailing baby heads to people across the country.
Non-hobby thing. I don't know. That's hard. Like, because I can't like conceptualize what it means for me. Like, of like what I've taken from like my normal life.
You put
to,
any
like, into
pinstriping
this.
on your models yet?
No, I haven't.
This is very adjacent, but I took last summer. I took a creative writing course, and that has helped my lore building for my characters so much. So it's not like hobby, like painting and kit bashing, but as far as like developing stories and putting together ideas, that creative writing course has been a huge help for me. Just figuring out like what I want to kit bash, what I want to make.
Yeah.
And honestly, just like on top of that, books and different things, like reading a lot more fantasy and sci-fi has helped me out a ton. And I know that that's like definitely goes hand in hand with the hobby to begin with. So I'm not really branching off or going too deep.
Well,
into
yeah,
this
but
question.
you wouldn't have done. I mean, we give you shit about never watching Star Wars, but do you think that would have just naturally come to you, or like you wrote a fucking Star Wars novel?
He's not hindered by the constraints of a movie, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
So
Smash it.
would
How's
you
part
have
two
done
going?
that?
Dude, it started. I came up with some good basic ideas, and then like the writing and the editing are what's going to take the longest. But or the editing, honestly, is going to take the longest. But yeah, I mean, I just think that is. What were you saying? Sorry.
No,
What was
you're
your
good. I was
question?
gonna say, would you have done that if you weren't in the hobby? You think dived into
No.
fucking Star
No.
Wars
Definitely not
in the
And
deep end? Yeah.
And it was like, it kind of was this balancing act, this back and forth, where it's like because in the hobby we're breaking all of these rules, seeing, I remember seeing Totally Not Panicking's Black Templars that are just like brown and made out of sticks,
Yeah.
or however he made them, and just like how many rules quote unquote that he broke doing that. I was like, well, I could just take Star Wars, something that I'm not entirely hugely familiar with, and I can break at all of the rules that are set for this and just kind of make my own thing.
It's so funny. Like when I read your story, nothing of it was like in my mind broken. I
Totally.
literally felt like I was reading a KOTOR fan fiction.
Yep.
Like it was perfect. And I think that's like the best part of all these things is like, even though there's a defined line for what they all
people
are.
will fill in the blanks with their own knowledge.
Exactly.
of
And
the
I love
universe.
that. He wrote that thing and it still is Star Wars to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's my answer. It's not like painting or kit bashing adjacent, but it ties into so much of philosophy behind just doing weird shit with this hobby.
I'll say for sure my machining background, definitely the skill of using like drafting tools and any CAD tools lended itself into the 3D printing part of it for me.
Oh, true.
And then tinkering into the machines and tweaking shit is really rewarding for me as well. And just becoming the 3D printing guy, I guess, of the circle now. But
yeah.
Yeah, I had no patience for that.
Yeah, no, I know.
No patience for that.
Yeah, I don't really have any other skills, I mean, drawing and like painting all my life, they've translated.
I'll say from the outside looking in, your narrative and your history buff side of you coming into the Beastmen lore for you is definitely...
Yeah, well, there you go. That's my skill is, trivial knowledge.
Yeah, nature guy Phil.
Being an encyclopedia of information
The historian
that
of
I
the group.
can't really use for anything else.
Yeah. Except this.
Yeah.
You could tie right
This
in.
and only this.
Yeah.
I have a question for you about your answer is...
Talking to the mics.
Sorry, I keep doing that. It's more comfortable sitting back in here.
I
I gotta
know.
get like a chair like yours so it forces me to sit this
I
close.
know. Just gonna put a bunch of
Do you-
pillows behind you next.
Because like I love writing like just random like take a 40K book, the little 2-paragraph story. I love that shit. I love doing that shit, and that's like pretty much the only way I can write anything narratively. But do you think like the creative writing class was worth it? Because I've always wanted to do that because I'm not the strongest of writers, but I like writing.
being forced to write was what was worth it. The class itself, I could have gotten that information off the internet,
Yeah.
but it's like if nobody's going to sit you down and be like, you have to deliver 1,500 words by next week, and then I'm like, fuck, okay, like, you know what I mean? Just like forcing myself. I don't want to really be typing things. I don't want to be editing this thing, but it's like it's due for class next week.
Yeah.
That was what was helpful. But the actual making, like the class itself, like all those skills and the things that we read and the things that we learned, I could have learned off YouTube for sure.
Was this like a paid for class that you
Yeah.
like? Where'd you do it?
I did it through Wesleyan, which is like semi-local, because I need to take grad school classes to keep my teaching certificate. Which is, I know, it's really cool that they make me spend money to keep my job. But so I have to
Teaching babies.
Yeah, so I have to take these classes anyways, but I sort of found this program where it's like I can take creative writing, I can take kayaking in the summer. There's all these crazy classes.
That's
right
so
now I'm
cool.
taking a portrait photography course, so it's like there's all of these like wild things that I
Miniature
can do
photography by Terry.
Yeah,
I know.
putting
We'll see.
skills to practice is like the most important thing. Because actually, now that you think of it, or now that you say it, like when we started playing, when I started playing D&D a couple years ago, I felt really inspired to like do my own campaign, and I, just like a custom.
I can only imagine how
and
sick that is.
and I started, doing like some basic world building, and that for me became a really good outlet for all of my trivial knowledge of, like history and economics
Dude,
and
Phil
nature and
Fact
this and that.
World.
And it's definitely something that I have kind of fallen off, but it really helps you, or has helped me internalize like the things that I've learned by like taking them and stamping them into like a fantasy
World of yours.
context.
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
like,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Now, do you have that stuff in like a notebook or like an app or something?
Yeah.
No,
when are we playing in this?
I mean, I haven't even DM'd like
Dude, you don't
a
need
one
to.
shot.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Who cares?
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I know.
Every campaign starts at a one shot,
No, but I mean, I keep like I have like probably over 100 like notes apps,
Dude.
things
Compiled.
of this and that. Yeah.
Like even your barbarian campaign. I would
Yeah.
play a 5-year campaign of playing every week as that fucking
Oh,
character.
dude, that was so much fun.
So
Just
silly.
Conan shit.
Yeah.
Just smashing, taking heads.
Literally
all-
3 barbarians in a world with bolt thrower playing, just
Oh,
killing
yeah.
shit.
It was great.
That was so cool.
Paul,
Yeah.
any weird techniques or things that you used in the hobby that's tied in somehow?
No, I couldn't really think of anything out. Like Gage said about like, having like a little bit of mechanical background,
Yeah.
helping out with the 3D printers, because it's like that thing. It's like, you've seen I have this one Ender 3 that's like all tricked out. So it's like, I guess I could
It doesn't,
print a
even
lot.
look, it doesn't look like a printer.
Right, yeah. I mean, it looks so bizarre, but it prints probably like 1.5, 2 times as fast as normal. So I mean, that has been of a help, but I can't really think of anything like right now. Like off
I think like working on cars and seeing a project come to completion, or having the ability to bring a project to completion, is a skill in and of itself. That's one that I don't have. I've never fucking finished anything in my life.
Yeah, I say that about myself all the time.
I'm sure we all have some skeletons in the closet that are not finished.
So true.
Yeah.
It's real ominous.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
real dark, bro.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
That's a good place to end us off. You
All
know what I mean?
right,
We'll leave it at that, guys. To pretend you didn't hear anything here at the end. And thank you, Paul, for joining us on this quest.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks,
guys.
Paul.
Thanks for having me.
Excited to have you again. We should do like a Nemo wrap up after the event.
Oh yeah, we'll have the pod set up at Nemo.
Yeah.
Have people come sit, chat with us for a few minutes at a time.
That's going to be so unhinged, and I can't wait.
It's gonna be
awesome.
insane. People just grabbing the mic, yelling into it. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be something else. I still got to work out how we're gonna record that, but I'll figure it out. And we'll have probably these 5 mics there, and people can just kind of jump on. We'll have a couple of like standby people that are just there, and people can come over and talk about their war bands. Please don't just grab the mic and yell into it.
Radio host Terry will be there all day.
Yeah, and we'll have the lady from next door who calls us nerds. She'll be on the podcast. We'll
We
get
should get
her
an
out
on
there.
the air sign. So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
people know to stay away when it's going on.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
I mean, the
Maybe
good
buy
thing
it on
is that
Amazon.
these mics, like, you don't pick up a lot of background noise.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, thank you, Paul, for joining us, and thank you all for listening. Anything else you boys want to add before we close it off?
No, sir. Thanks for listening. Episode 4.
All right,
in
we'll
the bag.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Have a great life. Hey there, hope you guys enjoyed the episode with Paulie Mordheim. We're hoping to have him on in the future, so that way we can hear either some new developments about Nemo or just hear what Paul's going on because he's a great guy. For now, though, I wanted to switch gears. Normally, this would be the battle report section of the podcast, and I've had a blast reading those battle reports. However, me and the boys talked about opening up this section of the podcast to the listeners of Hive Scum, to people in the community. We imagine that a lot of you guys have stories that you wrote already, that a lot of you have stories that you want to write. So we would love to hear from you. We would love to get submissions for stories. It might mean that this section of the podcast goes a little bit longer than the battle reports. I would keep submissions to about 1,000 words just for brevity's sake, so this section of the podcast isn't really long. But we would love to hear any sci-fi, any grimdark, any fantasy, any weirdo stories that you have brewing around in that head. Send them in to hivescum, that's one word, at gmail.com, hivescum@gmail.com. We'll go through them. If we get a huge response from people, we're hoping to read some of these on the next podcast. If not, we'll continue doing those battle reports, and I'll still have a blast making those battle reports. But we're really hoping to kind of put this on to you guys and hear from the community. So if you got something on your computer that you wrote a long time ago, or if you got that idea in the head that you just want to get out, send us an email, hivescum@gmail.com. We hope to hear from you soon. You'll be hearing from us real soon. Keep it grim dark, keep it grimy, and we'll see you next time. Peace.